Hello and welcome to TNA Top 10, episode 115, August 17th, 2025. I'm T Weave. With me, as always, are Andrew and Allison Faye. How's it going, fellas?
Fellas. What in the world,
I
Terry?
came
Fellas.
about a quarter second before I said the word fellas. I decided to say fellas. You know how this works.
Oh,
There's nothing scripted here.
I love it.
I will take
Allison, ladies first.
hello. I am well. I am really praying that this humidity breaks tonight because it is disgusting in Connecticut. Um, I went out this afternoon and I pretty much thought I was going to internally combust. So yeah, other
Gross.
than that, doing good. Yeah.
Yeah, we got teased a little bit last week down here. It was reasonable, but I can
When
guarantee you Saturday it was not reasonable at all.
Yeah.
When Terry says reasonable, he means we were like flirting with the upper 70s.
Right,
weeks ago.
exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was reasonable.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we're supposed to be in the 70s the rest of this week. So fingers crossed.
We are not. I mowed a rice paddy today. If you've never mowed a rice paddy, so fun things happened this week with me. Number one, the mowing. So the neighbor across the street, God bless him,
New neighbor.
is apparently the new neighbor. He is a pilot in the Air Force, and this man flies billion-dollar planes or whatever they cost. By the
Mhm.
time you make the taxpayers pay for them all.
All right.
But he managed to put his zero turn in the ditch today. And my sister pointed out it could have been his child, but regardless, his $12,000 Toro zero turn ended up in the ditch today. We've had 8 inches of rain here in Goldsboro in the last week. So a zero turn lawnmower near a ditch is not really a good idea. So anyway, the part that makes me think this man is an intellectual, Alex Wheaton is here just in time to listen to the punchline. The thing that makes me think this pilot and Amy is an intellectual is not the fact that he got the zero turn stuck in the ditch. We've all screwed up mowing grass. It happens. What makes me think this guy is an intellectual is he goes to pull the mower out of the ditch with his Jeep. And on the Jeep, which is copper, by the way, copper colored. Picture this, copper metallic.
Yes.
It is called the General Lee.
No. No. No.
There's
I
several
also
things
found
wrong
out-
with that being called the General Lee.
I also found out the man is from Florida, which
No.
explains
Well,
a lot.
okay, there you go. Yeah.
So,
Florida man.
Florida man. But he's a very nice man. He got the mower stuck in the ditch, but that is not an orange Charger or Challenger.
Yeah.
But it's not even orange. It is copper. Like think
Ah.
copper colored vehicles. That is the color of this thing. He's named the General Lee. And I mean, when I say he's named it the General Lee, they're like the 2-inch letters on the
No,
side
no.
of the vehicle that say the
Good
General
Lord.
Lee.
Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna require a picture at some point.
Yeah, that is
So-
bad.
Wow.
And then I won
Yeah.
the war with the Poison Oak this week.
Oh God.
I got wounds here, but don't worry,
It looks
They're
so
better.
much better than it did.
so much better. But the Poison Oak is gone. And for all of you tree huggers out there, mind your business. I have a permit for this. That's all I'm saying.
This
piece of
permit
paper
says I
that
can
says-
do what I want.
I do.
I do what I want. Exactly. Piece of paper says I do what I want. And then it was slow at work. Like the drizzling shit's slow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, your best friend needs to buy a car, so
Well, you keep saying that, and
I
then
know.
you don't give me any further information.
because I don't know what I want. I want all the fancy bells and whistles. I don't care so much.
And you
about
don't want to pay for it. Yeah, just like everybody else.
I mean, you've met me, right? I'm
Yeah,
frugal.
so I was interrupting myself, but hello to Alex, Amy. George is here. George Fireboon. You know what I'm
George is
talking about?
taking time off from vacation to say hello.
Fireboon. We'll talk about it. Fireboon. Hey, look, Terry Boone did not get thrown out of the game arguing balls and strikes today. It was the St. Louis manager that got thrown out because this umpire was terrible, and I cannot wait to see the audit on him. On the
Well, speaking of
Instagram.
St. Louis, I bought some plane tickets to St. Louis
Huh?
yesterday, and
How
I
about that?
I
So it's
use
official.
every bit of, well, I hope so. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Um, I used every bit of points that I had through
Good.
Southwest and still paid hundreds of dollars. But it was for me and Cyrus. So
Right.
I get it. It's 2 people round trip.
So ticket prices were not good.
Um,
You don't have
ticket
to give a
prices-
number. I'm just saying, did they
Did you
seem
fly out of
higher than
Huntsville?
normal?
Hold on.
No, I comparing Huntsville to Nashville ended up being cheaper because when I looked before, I still didn't know details, so I didn't know when to get tickets or whatever. But I am going to go to Nashville late night and then come back late night because that's the safest thing to do. But it looks like we've got a game scheduled 8 o'clock on Sunday, and then
Not
we
Friday?
fly out at 7 p.m. No, we've got a
Oh.
Friday 8 o'clock too. Yeah, if you want to
Oh,
talk about a
Lord.
12-year-old having a game in another state at 8 a.m. on a Friday when his school bus should be picking him up. But that's
A
another
different
matter
time
altogether.
zone too, right? Or no?
This is,
It's
it,
not
it
a
just
different-
means more down here in soccer too, apparently. But
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
so.
Same
Yeah.
time zone or different time zone?
yeah, same. I
Remind me.
think
Same.
Okay.
Central goes what 2/3 of Texas is Central. So,
2/3 of Nebraska Central
Yeah.
time. Because I was where I grew up, it was Mountain time.
yeah, it's
out
weird.
west.
They don't go straight up and down. It's like if you look at Eastern versus the boundary between Central and Eastern, it starts going west as you go north. And maybe that's got
don't
something to do with the shape of the globe. I don't know, but
And don't even get Terry started on them weird places like Kentucky and Tennessee that some of them have daylight savings time and some of them do not have daylight
Wait,
savings
what?
time.
Do they just
Well,
decide?
Yeah,
well,
like
there's
the
a
county
line.
doesn't have daylight savings time. So you could be leaving your house at 7 o'clock in a county that has daylight savings time
Okay, that's not.
and be late to work or some shit. I don't know. I
That's-
read
There's
about it.
one town in Alabama has just kind of bucked the system and said they're not doing, or they actually chose Eastern time. And it's one town
Well,
in
I
Alabama,
mean-
Phoenix City, because it's right there on the Georgia line and everybody kind of works in Georgia. So in Columbus. So they just said, screw that, we're going Eastern time.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean, Eastern time's the way to go. So it's just the way it is. Nobody ever used Central Time as your lead. It was always
No.
Eastern or 7 o'clock Central. For our show, it's 8 o'clock Eastern. It even says right there on the graphic, 8 p.m. Eastern. Terry's drinking tonight. That's probably my fault.
And
We
that's
haven't
it.
even
That's
started the
that's the
football
last one.
conversation. But
Well, let's start with the baseball before we get into
Oh,
that. How about that?
how
We
about
got
we
them up-
fire Boone?
oh God.
Let me run it down a little bit. National League, Phillies are commanding the lead in the East, 5.5 games up on the Mets. The Brewers won 14 in a row, and as soon as I put that in the notes, they end up losing today. But they're 8 games up on the Cubs, and the Cubs have they are probably the 5th best team in Major League Baseball, but they're
Wow.
8 games behind the Brewers. And then the
Ugh.
Brewers are 5 games better than everybody in baseball.
Well, and the Brewers, I heard this on the Yankees game because they were playing the Cardinals. The Cardinals have a series with the Cubs. The Brewers have a series with the Cardinals. The Brewers have a series with the Cubs. So they are thinking there's going to be some implications. Now, the Cardinals were in sell mode. They're going to have a new executive vice president or president of baseball operations after 20 whatever years. They're the only team close to the Yankees in the number of championships. And Busch Stadium is empty. Like, they have red seats. So when you're watching the game on TV, it's really obvious said red seats are empty.
See, they're supposed to. I guess they color those seats a color to match what they think the shirts of most people sitting there are going to wear. But I guess folks aren't doing that.
No, it is not great watching a baseball game when they said they were averaging, I think they said 24,000 fans, which is probably half of what Busch Stadium puts in. Yankees average is 43,000 this year.
Still more than the Rays. What? Sorry.
Yeah, and the
Well-
Marlins are like Man, we wish we had that.
I know.
Well,
We
here's
get a
my deal with
double-digit thousand.
like I pointed this out to somebody the other day, and I know we're not on professional football because we don't do that here, but I do live in North Carolina, and at one point 2 years ago, Panthers tickets in November were cheaper than parking at Bank of America Stadium.
Oh.
So you think of these big cities where you get into these sort of situations where that professional team is supposed to be the draw. What the
Yeah.
hell else is there to do in St. Louis? Let's be honest.
I mean,
Play soccer.
Kansas
apparently.
City, you know what I'm saying is you got that.
Oh,
yes, of
yeah.
course. But you've got Kansas City, the football team. You've got the Cardinals. But my point is that, Missouri has got a few things to do in it, and then it's just wide open country.
yeah.
If you can't put people in the tickets, and that is a revenue, or people in the seats buying tickets, and that is a revenue generating thing for you, that's a huge problem.
Agree.
And when we get to the
Speaking of-
Nebraska and Cincinnati game coming up August the 28th, I will mention another problem they have. But go ahead, Terry.
Speaking of what to do in St. Louis, if anybody has any ideas, we're going to be there for 3 days. I've never been. Let me know. And don't say the Arch, because I know about that. Give me something I don't know. You're going to tell me to eat some barbecue, I'm sure. But tell me the right place to go if you're going to tell me that, because I'll do it.
If I'm not mistaken, Lewis and Clark is big in Missouri. If I'm not mistaken. The Explorers.
Right.
So,
That sounds about right.
yeah.
I will say
Pretty
that when I took Cyrus to museums and stuff, he's enjoyed that. So if there's something like that to do, we may. Because the way it's looking, I booked a 7:15 p.m. flight out of St. Louis on Sunday, and I think the only game we have is at 8 a.m. So we're going to
Yeah,
be
you'll be
checked out of the
fine.
hotel and need something to do. So we might
Right.
we might find something like that.
I mean, you could always find a Target.
That's when you
I don't
know that
know.
you love the
I don't
people
know.
you're
Is
with.
it worth it, Allison?
Is it a
don't know.
secret target?
I
That's
mean, if
what
we
we-
ask Amy, the answer is always yes.
If
So
it's
let me-
if it's a super target, my answer is yes. Terry,
Yeah.
run it down. Run it down. Talk to us
Okay,
about
so
the
back to
National
the
League.
Dodgers are a game up on the Padres. Now I guess they're
Okay.
both playing late today.
No, the Dodgers swept the Padres, and they won
So
all
they're
3
2
this
games up?
weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. They won this afternoon before we came on.
Okay. Because I don't wait until the last minute to update that, so I don't get it. It's not up to date sometimes. So the Braves, 55-68, fourth place in the East. They're 8-2 in the last 10. 15 games out of first, 10 games out of the wild card, but they've won 4 in a row, and they swept Cleveland, and everybody enjoys that.
We love that they beat Cleveland.
Yes, we do.
It just
Hooray.
because-
Good job.
I don't really care to be playing for a third wild card spot, but the Braves winning against Cleveland only padded the lead for New York Yankees, who, as I mentioned, are in the third wild card spot, half a game behind Boston, 2 games with the Rays, Tuesday, Wednesday, weekend series with Boston in the Bronx, playoff implications. Boston is one of those teams that is either very, very good or it's an absolute train wreck. Does that sound familiar to anybody that's listened to the show and listened to me talk about the Yankees? The Yankees should have swept the last game series, and I forget who they played. They did not sweep it, but they should have. Minnesota. They should have swept the Twins. They did not sweep the Twins, but they did sweep St. Louis today. The Bats came alive early. You know, it's odd. When the opposing team manager gets thrown out of the game, that's usually when the route is on. And this umpire today for both sides was absolute garbage. Garbage. And I bet you he missed, that I saw, 20 balls.
Wow.
Strikes for balls. I bet you he missed 20 pitches. So that's going to be an umpire auditor thing that'll be fun to watch. But Terry, the Yankees have won 5 of 6. They've won 2 series for the first time since May. They've won back-to-back series. It seems like forever. Maybe the train is not falling off the tracks, but
They're
it was
still in the
100
wild card. They're
It was
still in the wild
108 degrees today on the field at Busch
Nope.
Stadium.
Nope.
And it was 108 degrees. And yeah, well, thank you for the Rangers beating Toronto today, Dave, to help us in our playoff situation. But the Yankees bullpen again
God.
becomes something that I wonder about. But Bednar got it done last night with 3 pitches, 16 the night before. Williams has actually thrown well in the 6th inning. This though
How's
is where
Freed
we
doing?
are. This is
Shut
where we
up.
are. We're on the Fire Boone train right here.
Yes.
They're interviewing him at the dugout, and he's asked about the bullpen. And this is his answer. I need my starters to go deep enough to put my bullpen
That's what she said.
in a position. Yes, exactly. To put my bullpen in a position where analytically we have the best matchups against the opposing team late in the game. I absolutely do not subscribe to analytics. It's something that I would wish they would just get rid of. Because if and Max Fried, since the All-Star breaks, ERA is 6.87. It is disgusting. But let's say Fried is on a roll and he's at 85 pitches in the 7th inning. I'm not pulling him.
No. Agreed.
They pulled Luis Hill at 83 pitches. They pulled Will Warren today at 80 pitches after he gave up 2 runs rather than let him battle it out with the best offense in the American League. Raw potential offense. So I don't believe in the analytics, but this is why. You're telling me that your game plan is to get to a position with your starting pitcher where you have 6 relievers and you want to be able to pair them up to the best 3 batters. They have to face 3. And then that's how you plan to win ball games. You don't plan as somebody who played with him and won. Well, he won championship. You didn't. But as somebody who played with the greatest closer in the history of baseball in Mariano Rivera, you don't plan for Bednar music to hit and Renegade play by Sticks and him come out and pitch 1 or 2 or 3 innings if necessary. You plan on matching him up against the best outcome for the New York Yankees. And you wonder why your bullpen loses baseball games. That is a absolute bass-ackwards attitude. Sometimes you just need to go on the mound and throw the fucking ball.
Yeah,
And
there's no
that's-
Satchel Paige in 2025. They are, they're not able to throw. You know, they don't let the starters go deep.
Will Warren went 6 today. Fried went 6 or 5.5 today. He made it to 6, but he didn't get through the 6th inning, so he only went 5. Fried went 6. Rodon went 7. They're not going to the 7th and 8th innings. You know, you're not getting them deep. And that's what she said. But
That's what
I saw the look on your face.
I was trying
Me
so
too.
hard to be polite.
But the point is that you're telling me that your strategy backed by the front office is to have enough relievers that you can match up. And then you bring in a bonehead like Mark Later Jr., who in a high leverage situation, you have a lead, throws a meatball across the plate and jeopardizes the lead. You have our guy, Weaver. Weaver today was rocking, but you choose to not. You choose not to close with him. I don't get it. I don't understand. Or no, they did close with him. They did close with him. They did not bring Bednar in, but they had Bednar, but they had him warming up. I think the closer needs to be the guy every game. And he needs to be the guy that is proud of the fact that to win this ball game, you're going to beat me.
Yeah.
That's who Mariano Rivera was. You know the other thing about Mariano Rivera, Terry, and I'll shut up about this? is unlike Alex Rodriguez, or not Alex Rodriguez, excuse me,
Derek Jeter.
captain. Mariano Rivera is a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. And that's something
Not
nobody
even
can
Greg
ever
Maddux is
take
that.
away from him.
Yeah.
So be like Mariano.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that he liked in the 8th inning, they play Inner Sandman, and here he comes, and he's already got 2 strikes on someone before he ever throws the ball because the whole stadium is rocking, and they know that here comes the best pitcher in the late innings in baseball. And it ain't close. It ain't close. But there's nobody on the New York Yankees that emulate that at all. And it's because you've got a front office that for 15 years has decided to run on computers and algorithms and what we should or shouldn't do versus trusting somebody you're paying $10 million a year to go win this baseball game.
Yeah, I remember when they made that switch to really following the analytics, and you could see the whole game change. The
Red
game
Sox
change.
did it pretty. I think the Red Sox were probably just after Oakland doing that.
Mhm.
Then I guess what's his name? Theo took it to the Cubs, and he had success in both of those places. And then everybody started doing it after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let me run down the AL since I still haven't done that yet.
Yeah, my bad.
The Blue Jays lead the East 73-52, 5 games over the Red Sox. And we know the Yankees are in 3rd place and still in the wild card because the East is way better than the other divisions. Tigers lead the Central 73-53, 8.5 games up on Cleveland. And the Astros 69-55, a game up on the Mariners.
Yeah, that's going to be the race. That the foot race will be those 2 teams to the end. Both of them will be in the playoffs. One or the other. Cleveland.
But the Cubs have a better record than the Astros, and they're 8 games out of their division, but the Astros lead their division.
Yeah, and that's the difference. And the Central in the AL is the Tigers to lose at this point.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they have to blow it.
Well, I mean, like I said before the show, it's possible we're going to have the Tigers versus the Brewers in the World Series.
Nobody
will
watch.
because the Yankees are winning.
I mean, that's going to be the worst ratings.
God, so
the
bad.
Yankees are winning the pennant, Terry. Don't start with me. Start. Don't start. Start with me.
Let's talk about another sport where you guys yell at each other.
All right.
I don't.
Let's
We
do
don't
the
yell.
NCAA.
We get excited.
We kind of broke down our plans. We're probably going to fold all the football stuff into the regular show. We're going to be a little more focused, talk about the most important things instead of having a huge list of things to talk about with football every week. We will have polls. I am going to bring back the computer poll. I'm going to fold in ChatGPT instead of writing software. So that way I have the least amount to do. I'm really leaning on ChatGPT. I don't know if you guys noticed that. We should say TNA Top 10 brought to you by ChatGPT. That's what we really should be saying at this point.
Featuring ChatGPT.
Right. And that's the only way this happens because soccer is getting really, really focused, and he is going to a more competitive league every year. We're in a regional league now, so our games are out of state. So it's a big deal.
Fantastic.
It's a big deal, and it's great. And here's the thing, soccer's not nearly as as popular as other sports in the United States. This league that he's in now, 90% of the players play college soccer, and then that blows me away. So we're going to stick with it. I'm going to spend the money, and we're heading in that direction. But anyway, we're talking NCAA, and we got football coming up, and it kind of snuck up on me. I've not put the preseason poll out. I'll put that out probably tomorrow. I know I said that last week, but I wanted to wait one more week because I want the votes to come in before the games start. But I don't want to have a poll between week 0 and week 1 because week 0 just has a handful of games that even mean anything.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do. I'll put the preseason. It's going to have all teams on it. I do put the teams that are ranked in the AP at the top so that you can quickly access those, but all the other teams are at the bottom in case you want to vote for, you know, Liberty or somebody, whatever. They're there if you want to, but the teams you're probably looking for are going to be at the top. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about actual football. And we're going to talk about conferences, starting with the Big 12. I have not done any research. I will just go ahead and throw that out there. And Andrew's got a big bunch of notes, and we're going to talk about what we think may happen. Here's a big question in the Big 12. What happens in Colorado after
Nothing.
Shedeur Sanders is gone? Are they just
Abs-
dropping off the table here?
3-9, 4-8, 5-7. You lose Travis Hunter, you lose Shedeur Sanders, you lose Shiloh Sanders. You have a football team that cannot play defense. It's a video game offense, as you've said. They do not run the football, and they don't have a serious coach. We've talked about Deion Sanders very lovingly on this show. The 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of people who can play professional baseball on this planet. He's one of them. But he's also 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of those people who can play professional football. So Deion Sanders, incredible athlete, fun follow, fun person to take a look at, amazing, incredible contributions to the sports world, not a football coach. He is going to have no idea what to do with this football team with Hunter gone. You don't have a guy who's going to play 125 snaps average now, who was your Heisman Trophy winner, who shouldn't have been, but whatever. That was it's just a popularity contest. It always has been. It probably always will be. Shedeur's gone. Who's your quarterback? You got Shiloh gone. And basically, every year he's been at Colorado, they've turned the entire team over, with very few exceptions.
Right.
So now you're going to have 95 new people in Boulder to play football for Coach Prime. You asked the question. I was prepared, obviously. I do not believe Colorado is serious in any way, shape, or form. And I know they're at the end of the season last year. They made a run. But they made a run with some very talented athletes who played well together. That is one thing Coach Prime has going for him. He gets all the guys to play for him.
Right.
But who does he have? Especially when you look at Texas Tech spending $50 million to assemble the football team they have in NIL money. They have the number one transfer class in the country, Texas Tech, because it's oil money. It's oil money. It's just like A&M, Terry. It's oil money. I don't see Colorado.
That's like you said, A&M. We said, can they afford to pay off Fisher? And they laughed at that because they presented a check for twice as much money as they had to pay him the next Saturday.
and moved on. So my pick to win the Big 12, I'm going with Arizona State.
Okay.
I like the young coach. They were there last year. They won it. They don't have Scatabo at running back anymore, but they are bringing back two big wide receivers. They are bringing back the quarterback. And this is the thing. That team plays with enthusiasm that you can't teach. And the coach is young, and he very, very much relates to these college players because he's 15 years older than they are. And here's the other thing, Terry, and you know this because Auburn's won a couple national championships. Confidence, when you've been there, all of a sudden does a lot for your football program.
Right.
So I'm picking Arizona State to repeat as the Big 12 champion because too many of these other teams, for instance, my favorite Utah, have some deficiencies that they have not made up for. And I don't think, on record, $50 million is enough to buy a Big 12 conference championship. Because you can get all the players in the world you want. Nick Saban said this. Are you paying the right players that are going to play together as a team?
Okay.
So for me, I'm going with Arizona State.
Okay. So the Big 12, honestly, of the major four, Power Four conferences, this is the one that I probably have the least confidence in picking somebody from, because
I would agree with that as well.
you've got Arizona State, you've got Iowa State, you've got Baylor, you've got Utah.
I did read an article since you mentioned Baylor, because Auburn's going
Yeah.
to play Baylor,
Right.
that there's a guy, I forget his name. He's one of the sports writers, follows the Big 12. He's picked Baylor to go all the way because they won the last 6 games of the season last year.
Okay.
And he thinks he's going to piggyback on that momentum. So he's picked Baylor to win the Big 12 championship.
Well, I hope they suck. I'll just throw that out there as an Auburn guy. But, you know, so who did I miss? Maybe I said Utah. And Oklahoma State. Who knows?
The
Is he
mullet.
going to grow? I think it's a Samson thing. He cut the mullet off, and they sucked last year. He needs to grow that thing back.
3-9. And you and I thought that Gundy, based on his tenure, his time in the Big 12, his experience recruiting, and who he was, we thought that he had the inside lane to the Big 12 title. Both of us.
Cut his hair. He screwed himself. He cut his hair.
Now he's got curly hair with no mullet. What is this? Now he's still fixing air conditioners in the middle of press conferences, so he's still got
And
that
he's
going.
40. And he's 40, Terry.
Well,
Remember.
I think he's more like 60 something now, but you know,
Child.
but he's a man.
He's a man. And
Okay.
he has been Oklahoma State football for 25
He
All
years.
has.
right.
And the thing is, it might be time for a new face.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll see what happens this year. That is, if I had to pull for a team, that's the team I would want to win the conference. But you said Arizona State. ChatGPT told me it thinks Iowa State. After it said traditionally Oklahoma, which those that know conferences know ChatGPT is not perfect because they hadn't been in the conference for a couple of years now. But I'm going to say, I want to say Baylor. Let's go Baylor. I'll pick Baylor on this one. Maybe that's an excuse in case Auburn loses or something, but we'll go with Baylor.
The last time Baylor was in a Big 12 championship game was following Art Briles' scandal, and it was Matt Rule who did not finish the rebuild, and I will have those more comments on that next week. But it was Matt Rule who did not finish the rebuild. Baylor lost the Big 12 title game.
All right, let's move along, and we're hitting the SEC now. Let me make sure that ChatGPT spelled things correctly. Yeah, sure enough, it did. So the SEC, you know, Texas came in with a storm last year. Looked like they were going to do it, but Georgia twice said, "Hell no, you're not coming in and taking it from us," and beat them twice. So those are still the big two. You know, there's a lot of talk about Alabama. How's Alabama going to be this year? They're ranked number 8 in the AP poll. I think those are really the 3 teams to talk about. There's a lot of LSU chatter, but I just don't see it. I think I'm going with Georgia.
I have thoughts on the SEC.
Mm.
As you know, even Amy knows the SEC because she's a Kentucky. No, ma'am, they're not going to finish anywhere near the top of the SEC because as good as Mark Stoops is at Kentucky, 8-4 seems to be the ceiling. So Quinn Ewers was the starting quarterback last year for Texas, probably rightfully so. This is Arch Manning's football team. Let's make no mistake about it. This is the most hyped quarterback right now in all of college football. Everybody wants to know what Arch can do. He had a few glimmers of, we got to see him last year a little bit. To Terry's point, Georgia shut that down twice. I believe it's very interesting to me. You've got Sarkisian, offensive mind, Kirby, defensive mind. That's probably your SEC championship game, to be perfectly honest. Texas opens against Ohio State.
Right.
Big deal. Big deal. That's going to be a test for both teams, both probably playoff teams. We'll get there in a minute. My thought is this: Texas, Arch Manning, Stark's the offensive mind. They're returning 5 starters from the offensive line on the playoff team. Arch is going to have experience in front of him, protecting him. And let's face it, he's a Manning. He was made for this. This is what they do. And they are football royalty. I'm picking Texas to win the SEC championship. And I'm picking Texas because it's finally Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian's time. They have been so close against Washington, against Ohio State. They've been so close. It's time. Now, this I will say, Terry, do not sleep on Georgia. The Carson Beck stuff aside, going to Miami, Kirby Smart is the best football coach in the country, and I just said it, and I mean it, because I don't even know who the Georgia quarterback is this year, and you know what? It doesn't matter, because what we know happens in Athens is you're going to have big, strong, fast, blitzing linebackers, an incredibly stout defensive line, safeties and cornerbacks that are going to take your head off, with the head coach calling the defense on the sideline for a lot of the game. You're also going to have a running back by committee, because this is what Georgia's known for, and an offensive line that averages 300 pounds or 320. Big, athletic Georgia. I'm going to apologize now to Billy Napier for all my shit talking on Florida last year.
He did it.
Oh my.
He did it with the hardest schedule in the country. I think, and I've got a bold prediction for later in the show or this segment, I think Florida is going to be better than last year. I also think Alabama, roll tide, all the recruits, all the money, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer. It's going to come down to the head coach where they end up. What we saw last year was not Alabama football. But we're used to seeing, before that, 17 seasons of Nick Saban, 10 SEC championships, 6 national titles. Every class won a national title with Nick Saban as the head coach. If you started as a freshman and you ended up as a senior, your class won a national championship. There's no other coach that can make that claim in their tenure. I think Kalen DeBoer is a bust. And maybe one season is too early to call it, but I don't think Kalen DeBoer brings to Alabama what they need in Tuscaloosa to win championships. They lack discipline, they lack motivation, and Saban may have ruled with an iron fist, but they won championships.
I saw an interview. I don't know when this happened. I don't think it happened recently, but it was with Jimbo Fisher talking about taking over for Bobby Bowden at Florida State. And Bobby Bowden told him, when I retire, I'm getting out of here and I'm not going to be around. It is not going to be my program. It's going to be somebody else's program. They're going to completely take it because that needs to happen. Maybe they tried that in Tuscaloosa, but that is not what's happening now because Saban is right there. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's doing good for him. I don't know, but it's definitely a different approach because there were a lot of recruits being, taking pictures with Nick Saban on the recruiting trail over the off season. So I don't know. I don't know what the future is in Tuscaloosa. That's not a criticism. It's just a different way to go about it.
Final thought on Alabama, though. It isn't a talent problem. It's not a facilities problem. It's not a history problem. And it shouldn't be a coaching problem. Not in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
That's the standard as championships. Now, before I wrap up, LSU is getting a lot of talk.
They are.
All these people think that the Tigers are going to be the team to beat. I'm here to tell you all, as long as Brian Kelly is the head coach of LSU, they ain't the team to beat. They ain't the team to beat. As long as Brian Kelly, he has been overrated since he was at Cincinnati. He was overrated at Notre Dame. He doesn't make good in-game adjustments, and the SEC has at least 4 other teams better than the Tigers. than LSU.
But like the graphic that we both shared with each other, because I didn't realize that you had shared it. Notre Dame got better after Kelly left, and LSU has not been as good after Kelly showed up.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
My last thought on the SEC, it's kind of an SEC Big Ten thing. It is going to be very difficult for Arch Manning for his first game to be against Ohio State, and I just don't see it happening. I expect Ohio State to win that game. That has nothing to do with the SEC championship, though. That is a non-conference game. I expect them to go to the playoffs. Like I said, I expect Georgia to win the championship, but like you, I expect Texas to be that number 2 team there.
No, I expect Texas to win the championship. I'm
just saying I expect them to be in the championship game.
Okay.
But
and you're calling Georgia.
I'm calling Georgia over Texas, but I expect Texas to lose this first game to Ohio State.
Well, my thing is I think, and I mean, we're going to get there. Both Texas and Georgia, playoff teams.
Yeah.
Playoff teams. Allison's like, what the hell?
All right, I'm paying attention because I'm going to try to watch some of this year and have an opinion.
Yeah, we're not going to bring you a second show so that you can go to bed. We're going to make you pay attention.
Exactly.
Anyway, here we go to the ACC. So, from what I hear, it's a 2-team race.
Look at those colors, Terry. Did you do that on purpose?
No. ChatGPT chose this. I don't know.
Those are the Lavender colors? Yes.
So Clemson, I think, is the favorite. And then there's Miami sitting there with Georgia's old quarterback. The question is, can they pull a team together and win some football games? I think they'll be good. What is Florida State going to do to bounce back? And what are they going to do with Gus Malzahn at OC this year? That's a big question to me. They've got Alabama week 1. I don't care if Gus is the OC. He ain't beating Alabama this time. That ain't happening. I got to pick Clemson. This is going to be a shocker. I tried to convince myself to pick Miami here, but I can't do it. Clemson Tigers all the way.
All right, Terry. Tom Allen has moved on from Penn State as the DC to the Clemson Tigers. This is an excellent move for them as he is a far better defensive coordinator than he ever was head coach at Indiana. The last time Clemson won a national championship was in 2018. And everybody remembers Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and all the rest, as you should. But what people constantly sleep on is the head coach of Oklahoma, Brent Venables, who is probably a better defensive coordinator than he is head coach, had a pretty good defense in both 2016 and 2018 and 2017 when they lost to the Tide. Or maybe it was 2015 when they lost. It's whatever year it was. They beat them in between. Anywho, I think Clemson returns to the ACC championship undefeated because of the defense that they're going to have that they have not had since Brent Venables departed Clemson for Oklahoma. So on the Oklahoma talk, they're going to be 500 if lucky. They're not a good football team. He's not a good head coach. He's a good defensive coordinator. And good coordinators are not always good head coaches. Gus Malzahn, to this discussion, was a good head coach.
Yeah.
He is a far better offensive coordinator.
He is.
Because all he has to do is call the offense. Thomas Castellanos is not it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
I'm calling a bust on Florida State, 6-6 at best. And I get that they got Tony White, my guy from Nebraska, running the 3-3-5 defense. I got that they got Terrence Knighton, the defensive line coach. I get that they've got some recruits and stuff. But they did not cash in on recruiting or transfer portal this year. And they didn't cash in because they went 2-10. Do you know who these guys want to go play for? Winners. That's who they want to go play for. And they want to be paid along the way. So if you're not having a good NIL and you're not paying them and your stadium is shit and your facilities are trash, and you have a head coach who's already on the hot seat before the season ever starts, and you've got a quarterback in Thomas Castellanos who couldn't get along with Bill O'Brien at Boston College and has been shipped out and has decided that the 18-time national championship football team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, are his target, and that they're going to beat Alabama opening game. It's going to be tied by 30. The ACC does not have the defensive power of the SEC. And let's face it, Terry, there are some damn playmakers on that Alabama football team.
Right.
Ryan Williams
They've got
is
the
an
talent.
example.
They definitely do.
18-year-old kid that looks like Speedy Gonzalez running down the field catching those balls. So Florida State's a bust. Miami, talk about Miami, because I agree with you. I went back and forth on this, but I only went back and forth on this because of Carson Beck. But he's had so much off-the-field bullshit, he's going to fit right in with Miami. And I don't think Carson Beck is better than Cam Ward. And if Cam Ward couldn't do it, I don't believe Carson Beck can do it. You also are having this expectation that you can plug someone with the athletic prowess of a Cam Ward and take him out and put someone like Carson Beck, who's much more a pocket passer, into the game and just expecting that it's going to work, because the guy that's the head coach was a national champion player in 1991 for Miami, and he was a disciple of Nick Saban. Well, guess what? Cristobal didn't get it right last year. He's not going to get it right this year. Miami probably goes 10-2. I do want to mention one other team, and I'll shut up. North Carolina. Speaking of an off dumpster fire, and I live in the great state of North Carolina, Bill Belichick will be making his coaching debut next week. Do I have that right? I think
Monday. It's the
Yeah,
Monday.
Tar Heel. Yeah. So there's a lot of talk about Belichick's girlfriend, all of the off-the-field shenanigans and all this stuff. North Carolina is a basketball school, respectfully. They've won some baseball tournaments too. They have not been a football powerhouse ever. They've had good seasons, but they've never had good program. Bill Belichick knows one thing, and that's organization. That's putting the right guys in the right places. I don't believe 10 months is enough time to do it.
Yeah, so North
Carolina isn't going to have enough time to do the rebuild that everybody thinks they could.
Right. So North Carolina opens their season September 1st, Monday night, against TCU. They host TCU.
Yeah.
So to me, if we talk about, the three main ACC teams, no offense to anybody else, but at least in football, Clemson, Miami, Florida State. To me, Clemson can win because they're a program. They can win with a game management quarterback. Florida State and Miami need superstars at quarterback.
Your quarterback for Clemson is returning from last year too, Cade
Right.
Klubnik.
Exactly.
Or not Miami, Clemson. The Clemson quarterback's returning. So he knows the program. He knows the offense. He knows the head coach. He knows the coordinator. I mean, Clemson, to me, is the team to beat. Now, I don't believe Carson Beck is going to be any better than Cam Ward. Cam Ward was phenomenal.
Right.
How many times did we see last year, Terry, Miami go 2-3 scores down, and all of a sudden, here he comes back like it's 2004 with USC, where they would go down, and Terry's rooting for Auburn, so he's hoping they lose, and they didn't lose because all of a sudden this guy named Reggie Bush or Matt Leinart or Troy Polamalu or who the hell
Wendell
else?
White. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here they come. Anyway, I'm going.
So,
with
and we
Clemson.
didn't mention SMU. Obviously, SMU made the playoffs last year.
But Rhett Lashley brought a lot with him, and I'll have the same comment about Indiana. They brought a lot with them when they become the head coaches of those teams. Now you have to do it when your seniors have graduated.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what they do. I don't see them competing for the conference championship. I don't see them being in the playoffs this year. But let's move along to the Big Ten, and they are last because they are on a streak now of national championships. So let's talk the Big Ten. And tell me why anybody should pick Penn State over Ohio State to win the Big Ten this year.
Because Ohio sucks. What?
Yeah, that's true. Ohio State sucks today, tomorrow, and forever. Like old Dave said about LSU. He and I feel the same way about those two teams. Terry, new quarterback, new running game, new DC, Matt Patricia. You might have heard of him. Won a few
Right.
Super Bowls with some guy named Bill Belichick.
That's right.
Historically, best wide receivers in the country come out of Ohio State. Guess who has the top 3 rated wide receivers in the Big Ten this year? Ohio State.
That's right.
They also have a coach who was Urban Meyer's offensive coordinator, who is 70-10 with a national championship. Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship, and maybe in more dominant fashion than they did last year. I know, and I have a buddy named Will who watches our show when we talk football, who loves Penn State. I know there's a lot of people that believe Penn State, November the 1st, is finally going to avenge all these losses against Ohio State. If James Franklin's the head coach, I will not make that bet. And I'm not an Ohio State fan, as everybody who knows
Right.
for the last 2 years, we're starting year 3 of football right now. You all know I have no love for Ohio State, but they are the best team in the Big Ten because, to Terry's point about Clemson, Ohio State isn't a football team. This is a program.
Right.
And this is a program that, whether you like them or not, the worst season they've had in 30 years is 6-7. And they did it one time. And guess what? He's the head coach of Wisconsin now, and he's no longer the head coach at Ohio State. So while the Buckeyes have been overrated, got beat by Florida, got beat by LSU, national championship games, tattoo scandal with the senator there. Ohio State beats everybody and wins the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I have to see it happen from Penn State before I predict it, because they've been so bad against top teams over the last several years. They just haven't gotten it done.
What is Franklin 1 in 28 or 2 in?
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
It's not good. It's not good.
is that against top 10 teams, something like that?
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
and he's
it's
beat
bad.
Ohio State one time in his coaching
Yeah.
tenure, and he's been at Penn State since Bill O'Brien left after the scandal with Sandusky and Joe Pa. So he's been there a long time. Now, one thing I'll say about Penn State, new DC, Tom Allen has moved on to Clemson. We have Jim Knowles, the former Ohio State defensive coordinator, who had such a great defense for the last several years. He will be in Penn State. They're going to have a good defense. They're going to have a good running back. They probably have the best quarterback in the Big Ten. They have an unproven coach who, well, this is what's proven. He can't win the big one.
Right.
So, like you said, Terry, until he shows me he can beat Ohio State or Michigan or Nebraska in November, 12 o'clock Fox, because they're going to fuck it up for us all. Big noon game, my ass. I don't believe in Penn State. I believe they're a good enough team to make the playoff. They might even be a good enough team to make the Big Ten championship, because there's no conferences anymore. You know, there's no East-West.
Right.
It's top 2. But you're in a conference with, mathematically, you could have 5 teams win 10 games in the Big Ten.
Right.
Very, very easily based on the schedule.
I think Penn State beats Michigan this year. I don't think they beat Ohio State, and I think they lose the conference championship to Ohio State.
wow.
And on the so you're going with Ohio State the same as I am. I don't have any reason not to believe in Ohio
Yeah.
State. And I'm a Nebraska fan. So
I'm
the
judging
only
you
other
both
one-
right now.
the only other one I mentioned is the Ducks. You know, Dan Lanning, he's a gambler. He plays good defense.
Yeah, we forgot about them, haven't we?
But
Yeah.
they're not physical enough to compete with the Penn State and Ohio State in the deep water. That's what the Big Ten championship game showed us. Additionally, the Big Ten championship game and the playoff showed us that if there's game film, you're going to beat the Ducks. Does that make sense? Like what I'm,
Yeah.
if you've seen them before,
Right.
Ohio State played them a second time and just blew the doors off of them. Penn State took them to school in the Big Ten championship game. So they also had a very good quarterback in Dylan Gabriel last year. They have a redshirt sophomore starting this year. Big difference. And you talk about pin your ears back, play Big Ten defense, Terry. I mean, that's a big deal. But that was my only other note is the Ducks. Obviously, you've got several teams with, and we're going to get to it in a minute for this playoff because it does matter. The schedule actually favors a couple teams over other teams.
Right.
In this particular
And that's what we get into with these large conferences and not having divisions and that kind of thing. Before we move on to discussion about playoffs, I lost my thought. So let's go ahead and go in.
We forgot Michigan got fined $20 million this week, Terry. Show cause on Harbaugh, 10 years. They don't want him back in college football. That's what that means. Moore is going to serve a suspension against Nebraska. That's game 4 or 5, I believe. It's the Big Ten kickoff game for Nebraska.
Right.
So I think it's game 5. And he's going to have to serve another suspension. It'll be the first week of the game. They basically just didn't do anything. And one of the rationales was, well, we can't punish the players for coaches that aren't there
Yeah.
anymore.
You've done it for decades. Why would you stop now?
Somebody apologize to Reggie Bush, please.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I mean,
Give
how
him his
many
trophy
Auburn
back.
teams have been on probation and gone undefeated because of other guys that aren't there anymore? I mean,
Well, the 04 team didn't get in because of the sanctions. Isn't that right?
no. 04 was just they picked a bad year to be undefeated because Oklahoma and USC were both also undefeated.
Or was it the 90s?
93, they went
93.
undefeated, and they couldn't play postseason. And there's other years, but
Yeah.
it happens. They're just, but that's the difference. That's when I say program versus team, because things are going to happen like this. If you build a
Mhm.
program, you're going to have plenty of other opportunities.
Yeah.
But let's talk playoffs. I don't know that I want to say 12 teams that I think are making the playoffs, but we've kind of gone through the conferences, talked about who we think are. Yeah,
I have a
know
list.
You're prepared for it. I'm not. But the key pieces here are Notre Dame. Is Notre Dame getting in?
Yes.
I think so. I don't think there's
Yes.
any way they're not.
Notre Dame's in. Marcus Freeman, excellent coach. He lost his defensive coordinator to the Bengals. That's Golden's gone to the GC, back to the Bengals again. Freeman will be fine. Notre Dame's got money. They also talk about favorable schedules.
Yeah.
Being independent allows them to cherry pick who they play. Now, if you're a Notre Dame fan, you can shout at me all you want, but you know it's the truth.
But that
You've got-
Navy rivalry is not close.
No. Or the Army, or Air Force.
But hey, they
Okay?
do play USC every year. I get that.
Yeah.
But that's just the truth. But I think the most difficulty here predicting is it Boise State? Is some other team going to jump up and take that spot?
I have put UNLV in the at-large spot this year.
Okay.
Dan Mullen, obviously, love him. Urban Meyer's offensive coordinator at Florida, head coach at Florida, head coach at Mississippi State. I believe he was Dak Prescott's head coach, if I've got
He
that right,
was.
Terry. The guy knows how to win. He got fired for not winning enough after he'd won. Was it 1 or 2? Or he made 1 or 2 SEC championships. It was ridiculous. Like, what they were expecting him to do was dumb. But anyway, they fired him after he won 11 games at Florida. I mean, that's silly. But Florida has been that team that's been very impatient. They had Spurrier for a long time. Of course, Urban Meyer brings them those two national championships, marred in controversy, but still brought them. And, then they've just been very impatient. Jim McElwain, Saban's offensive coordinator, was the head coach there. What's his face? The other Saban guy, the DC, Will Muschamp. He was the head coach there. Mullen was the head coach there. Now you've got another Saban disciple down there who I didn't think would make it through last season, and I do apologize to him. But anyway, I think UNLV is getting the rejects. So Barry Odom went to Purdue after a very good season with UNLV, and now Dan Mullen is coaching again. Dan Mullen's name has enough cachet, and this is a guy who's a pretty good quarterback coach. Chris Lake, Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott. He has that
Cam
part
Newton
of the game.
for a cup of coffee.
What's that?
Cam Newton for a cup of
Cam
coffee.
Newton for a cup of coffee, yeah, before he got thrown off the team. I absolutely believe UNLV better than Boise because Boise lost too much to be able to do it again. Although I've said that about Boise for a long time, that they were the ones that always screwed up the BCS, but they didn't play anybody, Terry. And then they go into the 07 game against Oklahoma, and they beat them. So, anyway.
Boise has the blue turf, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't deserve to win.
Most difficult football game to watch on television.
Exactly. That's why they don't deserve to win. It gives me a
you-
blinding migraine watching.
I have Texas. Oh, George says, someone please give. Yeah, listen to Mark. She's probably bored to death. Yeah, that's true. We're wrapping up.
Me. By the way, he
But
texted
the
me.
question is, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's all good.
No, what do you say?
The question is, when's the first time it's going to be anybody but the Mountain West with this spot? Because I guess the Pac-12, the two teams in the Pac-12, do they? I don't know how that even counts, but
yeah,
I don't even know if winning that championship because you won the one game allows you to take that spot. Probably not. But I don't think the MAC or the Conference USA or Sun Belt can compete.
I wasn't laughing at you, Terry. I was laughing at the comment George said my insight on this segment.
He's probably happy because you guys know what you're talking about, and I'm smart enough to stay quiet.
George, we're going to get her there. It's going to be a season-long thing. Since we're going to put it on the main show, she's going to have to sit here and she's going to learn how to talk about it.
I was married to a West Virginia guy, so a WVU guy. So I grew up, but when I was married for a couple of years, I watched a shit ton of college football.
How did I forget the boys in Morgantown? And now we're backing up, and you can blame Allison. Hashtag blame Allison. I had it written down, seriously, but we've moved on from the Big 12. I believe West Virginia is a spoiler this year. They're not going to win the championship. They don't have enough there. But Rich Rod had a number 2 team in the country back in 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee missed a couple of kicks. And who knows how that game could have gone.
Right before he turned down the Alabama job so that Nick Saban could come in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. But West Virginia, Country Roads Take Me Home. Rich Rod 8-4. He's going to win some big games in the Big 12, and that's going to get him the players. So anyway, I don't think they make the run in the Big 12, Terry. It's too early.
Right.
But I think Rodriguez sets himself up really nicely this year.
So back to what we're talking about with the Mountain West. It's going to be the Mountain West unless some team just got Liberty and James Madison, but they can't compete.
Nobody's going to put the Ohio Bobcats in there, for God's sake. I mean, their
Toledo,
Miami of Ohio's biggest contribution to football was Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ball State in the first round of the playoffs. No offense to them.
I mean,
I hope they
seriously.
do great. But I mean, I will go ahead and pick Boise State so that we don't both pick UNLV, but it's going to be one of those two teams. Unless
so
some
Terry's
other
got
team
Boise. So this is where I'm at, because I know you want to know, because you use ChatGPT, and I actually did this, like we talked about.
I just did research.
This is 1 through 12. Texas, number 1. Ohio State, number 2. Clemson, number 3. Arizona State, number 4. That's based on me picking them as the 4 champions. I don't think you seed Big Ten above SEC necessarily, depending on how it goes. If Ohio State goes undefeated, obviously it's 1. They're number 1. But we'll find out, because Texas and Ohio State play to open the weekend, August 30th. Next week we'll preview it. UNLV is my at-large team.
Yeah.
Penn State, Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, Notre Dame, Florida, Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska in at number 12
Wow.
because they play they play Penn State in November at Happy Valley. The 1st of November they play USC, and game 5 is Michigan. They do not play Ohio State. They do not play Wisconsin. They do not play Michigan State. They do not play Indiana. They win 2 of those 3 games. In my mind, as the 3rd team in the Big Ten, they're in the championship or in the playoff.
Okay. Well, let's go through.
But they don't
this.
play Oregon and they don't play Washington either. Sorry about that. I messed that up.
No. I'll work through this, and I'll just go ahead and form it for myself. So I said Ohio State. I'll pick Ohio State number 1 overall. Georgia number 2. My Big 12 champ, or I'll go Clemson 3, and then my Big 12 champ. I picked. Who did I pick for the Big 12?
Oklahoma State.
No, I didn't.
Did you pick Oklahoma? No, you picked
No.
Baylor. You picked Baylor.
Baylor. I'll go Baylor there. And see, there's 3 spots here. So we got Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Baylor, Texas, Penn State, Alabama, Oregon, Boise. The next 3 spots are the big question marks to me. Who's going to do well enough to get in?
To be 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah. So I'm
Did you
not
say
really
Notre
sure.
Dame or not Notre Dame?
Notre Dame is there. Yeah. So Notre Dame there. So the question is like one more Big Ten team, one more SEC team, probably. And I'll probably go LSU, even though I don't think they're going to have a great season. And then that's tough in the Big Ten because I think there's going to be, like we talked about with the SEC last year, there's going to be that second level of team that's going to be competing. And I think there's several in the Big Ten that's going to be competing for that. I don't think Michigan's it. You pick Nebraska. Who else do we have? What's Indiana going to do bouncing back? I've got Oregon in there already.
Now, Nebraska or Indiana, because I know this is my conference, not yours.
Right.
They graduated a lot of those James Madison guys
Right.
that he brought with him. I know all he does is win. All you got to do is Google it. But Kurt Signetti is a dickhead, and he's going to eat those words this year because he ain't got the team. He ain't got the team.
Well, let me do this. I'm going to pull a wild card here. I'm going to go Iowa State.
Iowa State's in the Big 12.
Right. 2 teams from the Big 12 instead of another team from the Big 10. We'll see. I could be completely wrong. But.
Final thought on Nebraska, and we're going to talk about this next week. The big news that came out this week, Terry, this is how Cornhusker fans are. November 1st against USC at home in Lincoln will be not a whiteout, but a blackout. Alternative uniforms, all black.
Ooh.
The team's defense for years has been called the Black Shirts. So now Nebraska is going to have black outfits with white lettering. Apparently, all the old people in Nebraska are offended by this because there's no scarlet and cream. And so they don't understand why the alternative uniform color is solid black and looks like some Iowa State, since you mentioned it, rip-off wannabe, which is hilarious to me because this team, since Charlie McBride took over as the defensive coordinator, has been called the Black Shirts. They ain't played like it since Bo Pelini left, but they have been the Black Shirts. And we'll get into Nebraska talk next week, but I'm very excited for my man with the hair Allison loves.
Yeah.
Dana Holgerson and what he's going to do with his new team. So anyway, blackout is the biggest offense in Nebraska these days.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to say, let's just pick a national champion. I'm picking Ohio State here.
Pretty safe bet.
I don't think anybody's really standing out to me as dominating everybody. I don't see Penn State doing it. I don't see Clemson doing it. Maybe Texas, but I have to be proven on that one. I just I just think Ohio State again.
I think it is destiny for Sarkeesian to finally win the big one. And I'm going to say they get some lucky breaks along the way. My preseason pick for national champion is Texas.
And Amy says boo to my Ohio State pick. I boo it too.
I
That's-
agree, Amy.
That's how I feel.
I mean, Terry's not going to pick Alabama. Roll Tide. So
Hey, I put them in the playoffs at least. Let's move
that
on to
was hard
wrestling.
enough.
Oh, okay. I've been silent for a while, so I'm gonna start
Tag
this.
in,
segment.
Allison. It's your
So
turn.
Yes, tag me
take
in.
the floor. Take the floor.
All right.
Hot tag. Hot tag.
I'm just gonna take 2 minutes, and instead of a producer's pissed, I'm gonna give it well done this week to the AAA Triple Mania that was on YouTube. I have seen a few of these shows. I've been lucky enough to know about AAA before WWE bought them and all that.
Yeah.
This was one of the best pay-per-views I've watched this year. It was entertaining from start to finish. We saw the return of Omos. Omos versus Microman. If you don't know who the two of those people are, one is a 7-foot giant, and the other one is, I think, 3'4", maybe.
Yeah. I saw some video clips of that. Yeah.
But they did it well. It was funny. AAA tends to have a little bit more humor behind, some of their characters and the matches. So lots of fun. We got to see Mr. Iguana and we got to see Demonito, Finn Balor's puppet. Yes, please. Where can I get one of those? That was fantastic. I also was like in the back of my head thinking, is the demon coming back? Is this the first step? Because
How have you done this to yourself?
oh. But anyway, other than that, I know it's so bad. Anyway, it was tremendous, a tremendous show. AJ Styles came in and foiled Mysterio again. Dominic, it was great. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
And Dominic has done so well. And I mean, I didn't watch the show, but I did see the clip. He gets the heat. The crowd loves him. In Mexico, he is revered because he's Rey Mysterio's son.
Yep.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody says. I know he's not always the best wrestler, but from the standpoint of his character and his commitment
he engages the crowd.
Yeah, he is very good. He is so good.
Yep.
First time seeing AAA, I enjoyed every bit of it. Alex says he and Natalia had a great match. I don't know, who'd she wrestle?
Somebody whose name I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to try.
But it was a AAA. It was a AAA.
It was a AAA person. Yes.
Well, that's good.
So
yeah, it was
AAA,
like I said, it was really good.
Do you feel like they got an upgrade in production since you watched the show?
Yes, and it also definitely helps from my perspective as a WWE fan that they're bringing in WWE wrestlers to kind of introduce kind of this whole new product to us. So it's a different style of wrestling.
Last year, if I'm not mistaken, they had JBL involved in the finish of the main event or whatever, and yeah, it was something weird.
Probably.
But anyway, go ahead.
But anyway,
I just wanted to know if the production seemed bigger because WWE, if they do anything well, and let's face it, better than everybody else, it's professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just do it better than everybody.
The thing, though, that I really enjoy is they allow AAA to stick to their traditions. Like they open with singing and it's very honored. They talk about, their founders and people involved. They inducted Conan into the AAA Hall of Fame, which I laughed, of course, because I'm like, hey, that guy hit on me at Starcast. But he slid into my DMs. So anyway, it was wholeheartedly, it's fun to watch. It's nice to have another product to watch, and it was free on YouTube, which was, we'll talk about that later.
I was watching the Yankees. God,
we need more of that free on YouTube stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of leading you right into that.
Yeah.
Well,
and why do we need more free on YouTube, Terry?
Well, the first thing I got written on this WWE page is Blockbuster ESPN deal with WWE. 5 years, $1.6 billion agreement with ESPN, exclusive streaming rights for its premium live events. starts in 2026.
Devin's here.
No, Devin. No.
That would have been something. Odele. Anyway,
He was a funny guy and fun to hang out with, but no.
I'm sure he was. He likes to smoke dope. Anyway, 1.6 billion.
Yeah, I will not be paying for another streaming service. It's
So
just not happening.
we want to bring the audience in on this, Terry, because we have our people here, our very loyal friends and family. And me and Allison had discussion before the show because I've heard two versions of events.
Right.
If you have ESPN Plus or ESPN on a streaming device, you will not have to pay. I've also heard if you don't have it through traditional television, which I guess would be cable, maybe satellite, that you are going to have to pay the $30. This is why it's such a big deal, and I think you guys get it. Peacock's given it to us for years now, and at this point, you're going to have to retrain your audience that they have to pay for it, if that be the case. So I'm not sure exactly what to believe because I've seen both things put out. I know you said that, Terry. Allison, I know you said it, and you're a hard no on paying for wrestling.
Correct. Unless it's like I did pay for what was the last AEW one?
Double or Nothing.
No, it was the one. Didn't we have another one after that? Oh, maybe it was Double or Nothing. I paid for that because
watch Hangman win. Yeah.
Yes, I pay. It was worth it to me. That was a good show. I'm
Well,
not
that's
going to pay.
one of their main shows.
Right, exactly.
I'm probably that way. The main shows I'll pay
Exactly.
for. The other ones I'm not going to.
Well, and let's face it, guys. And this is not me being critical of WWE because I think they do wrestling well. But the three of us have sat on this show for a year. Oh, here come the dogs. Or they're fussing at each other. The three of us have sat on this show for a year. And we've gone over events like Bash in Berlin. And we have predicted with absolute accuracy what's going to happen. Why am I going to pay $30 for that?
Yeah. Look, they've already priced us out of going to events. Y'all know I will spend my money and go to an event. Not an issue. I will not pay $200 for a nosebleed seat in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Right.
I said the same thing about Raleigh, North Carolina. WWE in Raleigh, it's not a big market for them. $150 for a seat where you can see the ring, not my thing.
No, not at all. If I wanted to be on the floor, I believe it was a minimum of what did I tell you guys? Like $700 or something ridiculous.
The VIP experience for WWE is $1,000 in Raleigh. Raleigh.
Same here.
And I keep saying Raleigh, guys, because Raleigh is not a WWE town. It's not some place they come a lot. I mean, they'll go to Greenville. Yeah, I heard you. They'll go to Fayetteville or they'll go to Greenville before they'll come to Raleigh. So anyway.
Right. No, exactly. Totally agree.
I mean, good for the WWE making this move, but this is consequences of the TKO merger.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and they did it with UFC. And anybody who's not been paying attention, remember UFC, if you guys have been longtime fans. If not, I will explain it to you. Used to have quarterly events.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became every 60 days. Then it became every 30 days. And before you knew it, like WWE did years ago, it was basically every 3 weeks. They were putting on an event for the UFC, but they wanted to charge you $50, $60, $70, whatever the number is. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm out. Did I enjoy UFC 200 watching Brock Lesnar fight? Absolutely. But other than that one, in the last fight I think I ordered was Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. We're talking 100 and whatever events ago, because that's when Conor McGregor won the title in 13 seconds. Absolutely not paying that type of money just to watch guys fight. Not happening.
Yeah. Totally agree. And I'm going to say this because I'm going to read Devin's thing here because I heard a similar story last night. Devin said in 2018, we got NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam, Raw on Monday, and SmackDown on Tuesday for $680 per person. Now, I think I was talking to Bober yesterday, and he was telling me how, and I think it was only a couple of years ago, he got same, but with WrestleMania for like $1,000. So the 4 shows and Hall of Fame and you can't get one show now.
Right.
Like for half of that, you'd be lucky.
It's
I was
insane.
priced for me to be priced out of Vegas. That tells you something. I have an excuse to go to Vegas, okay, but I ain't paying $3,000. It ain't
Well,
happening.
and you know, our crowd has talked about Nashville WrestleMania as a destination, but by the time we get to Nashville,
Yeah,
I cannot imagine what the pricing is going to look like because Nashville is Las Vegas of the East.
correct. Yep.
Been better off going to Philly. No offense to Philly. I mean, I'm
I
just
don't know.
saying.
I think Gatlinburg might be Las Vegas of the East, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying when they call it Nash Vegas or
Yeah,
whatever. It's the
yeah.
entertainment
Right.
capital of the East.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
the point
But it's
being that by
expensive.
the time we get to WrestleMania in Nashville, Tennessee,
We may
God
be
help
priced
us
out.
all.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
And imagine what it's going to look like when they do WrestleMania in Saudi.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and at the end of the month here, we got Clash in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try to say the name. Paris I guess I am. La Défense Arena, something like that.
Very good.
We'll go with
Very
that. In Nanterre, France. So just
On
making
top.
stuff up at this point. And we got Bad Blood, maybe. I don't think it's official. So
I
the
haven't seen
rumors are
anything yet.
Bad Blood in Indianapolis on September 20th to go ahead.
The sickos in AEW are frustrated because apparently this is going to counter program All Out,
Right.
Oh.
which you know is going to be headlined by Edge and Christian versus FTR. Gag me with a spoon. Anywho, in Canada, by the way. Yeah, I mean, Lesnar versus Cena. My thing is like, I had this conversation earlier this week with a couple of people that run a podcast show over there. And then whatever. I mean, we disagree. They don't think Brock Lesnar is one of Cena's greatest opponents. My point is he may be not one of their greatest opponents, but he's somebody who's left because Edge is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H ain't wrestling with that heart condition.
That's right.
Shawn Michaels ain't wrestling no more. Randy Orton, we've already seen. Cody, we've seen. It's who is available. And I thought Lesnar was nuclear, and I even told you guys that because
and we've seen Stone Cold come back and wrestle, but I don't see that happening here.
Like, I'd love to see The Rock, but I don't think he's.
I mean, there are very few options left for somebody Cena's age if you want to have him wrestle his contemporaries who he wrestled in his career. There are very few people left. We've done the CM Punk thing even.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer, but their thought was, oh, it wasn't one of Cena's greatest feuds. Suplex City bitch came out of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. And remember, John Cena got squashed at SummerSlam by Brock Lesnar. Now he won the title back or whatever the next month, but 16 suplexes Cena took from Lesnar.
I'll be honest, I am a little scared for Cena. I don't know how many of those.
I think Lesnar's in far better shape than most people 47 years old should be.
Absolutely. No question. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like everything in my body would just like melt into a jelly if he tried one of those on me. I no.
Yeah, but I mean the Paris show, it's going to be rocking. It's going to be
rocking
just like it was last year.
Wow.
They know what they're doing, and we're going to get to AEW in a minute, and they probably will have very good success in Canada based on who they're going to put on the card. International shows are still money makers. What's that?
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the one in Toronto. It's only 4 hours away from me. I was like, maybe I'll just go.
She just needs a stamp on that passport. That's the problem.
It's been a month. I can't.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about Forbidden Door. We know a little bit more than we did last time. We're trying not to go over the same matches over and over again because it's still a while to this happens.
Let's talk about your favorite one then.
Oh my God, yes. So let's talk about that. So we've got 1,000,000 people in a match.
Oh my
That's a
god.
big shocker.
By
Lights
the way,
out
that's
steel
in the
cage
notes.
match.
It's in the
Yeah,
notes here.
with
Million people.
1,000,000 people. Those words I put in the notes. Omega, Ibushi, Allen, Tanahashi, Osprey against Claudio, Moxley, both of the Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd in a cage.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. You're
Yeah,
using
just yeah.
so it's a steel cage lights out match with 10 people in it, and then you know what we're going to have coming up soon after that, blood and guts. So
Right.
you're going to have the same match. Now the lights out match makes it so they can do their it doesn't count, blah blah blah, whatever. But Ibushi was in blood and guts, and it didn't look good for him because it's not a style of match he wrestles.
Right.
Tanahashi is the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and you're using Tanahashi in this
Crazy.
style of match with no real story whatsoever, other than Mox cuts a promo. Oh, Tanahashi! Holy shit! Blah, blah. And then you bring the young fucks in, who I just cannot stand those two shitbag clowns. AKA TNA Lethal Lockdown. Stop.
Tanahashi has the best hair in New Japan, and I'm going to be very upset if somebody bleeds all over it.
It's
just so
gonna
you know.
get bloody. But here's my opinion on steel cages. I'm very old school. I don't like multi-man steel cages. Even the stuff that came out of the NWA, not a fan because to me, a steel cage is you've been chasing this guy for months.
Right.
He's a bastard and he's been sneaky and other people have got involved and you have a one-on-one with some guy in a steel cage and he can't get away. I don't
agree.
want tag teams. I don't want teams of 4 or 5. I don't want this. I want one-on-one with a top on the cage and they bleed and somebody submits or somebody gets pinned. That's what I want
Yeah.
to see in a steel cage.
Well, and Davis said it on his show before, our buddy over at Mark Out Moments, and I agree with him. The greatest steel cage match of all time is Tully Blanchard Magnum TA. And
Right.
even that one had shenanigans where they bring the chair in for a
Yeah.
Puerto Rico finish is where they got the idea. But wooden chair. But anyway, it's going to be a mess to shoot too. Like,
Yeah.
these are not enjoyable watching these multi-man cage matches because, like, even when they do the blood and guts match, or even when they do war games in WWE, you know, Bronson Reed, what we were looking for was the big tsunami off the table, and he broke both of his ankles. The last blood and guts match, if y'all remember, Darby Allin was going to light Jack Perry on fire. So, I mean, and that's how we got the
Jack
submission
Perry.
or surrender or whatever. He's going to light him on fire. And I'm like, you know, at some point, it still has to be wrestling. It can't just be spot fest, garbage show, more spot fest, more garbage. And I largely believe that it's because I'm an NWA guy that the Horseman Dusty story worked in War Games because it was a blood feud. But to Terry's point, these aren't blood feuds. What in the hell did the Young Bucks and Tanahashi have to fight over? As an example, you're bringing in the mercenary Gabe Kidd. We got Kenny Omega and Ibushi and the Golden Lovers. So is that how we're going to get to All Out? Maybe it's Ibushi and Omega versus the Bucks,
Right.
just as an example. You know, something like that. Yeah. So,
But you mentioned War Games, and to me, originally War Games that made sense because it was a team against a team, and you constantly saw these guys run out and help each other and that sort of thing. Or you saw the Horsemen
Sure.
team up on people. You saw that, and eventually they were in a cage. But when it becomes, we're going to do it once a year, so we got to finagle a storyline to lead to it, that's when it blows up to me. When it was a natural thing you could believe, I like it. It's kind of like in the 80s when we came up with reasons to have 5-on-5 in November in the WWF.
yep.
It just became a gimmick at that point. Now, I
Yep.
might get some heat from Amy on that one because she loves that. But at some point, it becomes we have to figure out the storyline to follow what we already have planned. And I think it's got to go the other way around.
And I believe that's 100% correct, Terry, because, you know, it's to your point, your storyline builds to Survivor Series. You're smart enough to know
Yeah.
you've got Survivor Series as a tentpole event. But we do the same thing with the Royal Rumble. Genuinely, you do the same thing with the Royal Rumble. You know that come January, or I guess now this year, February, you're going to have a Royal Rumble match to decide who's going to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because that's a natural storyline. You got a stipulation involved since 1993 when Yokozuna did it first. Y'all learned something today if you didn't know that. Yokozuna did it first, even though Hogan did it previously. It wasn't for the number one contender till 93. Anywho, but it's a natural storyline because it always happens.
Yeah.
Forcing Blood and Guts or War Games, knowing, like you said, it's not so much anymore even a Survivor Series that you're going to have 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. Now we know you're going to have War Games at Survivor Series because that's now WWE's thing.
Right.
War Games is the destination. So how do we get there? You know, are we going to see John Cena in War Games this year? Are we going to, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Are we going to see CM Punk in War Games? Is it going to be John Cena, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and who the hell else ever against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul and whatever. So, anyway, just my thought. But yeah, I think you're right. And I think Tony Khan still books matches he wants to see. They don't have to have any continuity to his television program.
Right.
They don't have to have a storyline. It's just something I want to see and I want to watch.
And there are some very good matches in AEW, and we've talked about that, but we also have let's put everybody in there.
Yeah, so Moxley loses the title. He gets a rematch, and now we've pivoted him to Will Ospreay.
Mhm.
But Ospreay seemingly needs surgery, so this is going to be his last hurrah because it's in London at the O2 Arena before he has the surgery.
Sure.
Team Jelly versus Team Paul at War Games, Devin says.
Well, Devin's an AEW apologist, so he probably hates me shitting all over his boys, but I mean, quite frankly, they're garbage.
Okay,
And,
before we move on, one more.
The Young
match.
Bucks are trash.
Yes.
So Cope and Christian against
Wow.
Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne.
I can't call him Cope.
Yeah.
Trash.
I called him
I
Coop
mean-
a few weeks ago.
So, some of us might be a little bit excited for this. I would like to see this match. I think they can do a good job with it. Maybe. But we'll see. I expect
Pen to
shenanigans.
paper. FTR. Well, this is they're building to the FTR because that's the one that should happen in Canada. But this is still a foreign market, and your answer is Nick fucking Wayne and Kit Sabian against Edge and Christian.
Well, they're just the impetus to put Edge and Christian together. So I don't really give a shit about Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian other than the fact that it's Penelope's husband. Who cares? I think it was done just to put those two back together.
I would agree with that, but my whole point was, and I guess I didn't express it well, you want to make Edge and Christian big-time players and stars in this company, and you're putting them against trash-ass wrestlers not positioned
Fair.
well.
Yep,
Now,
fair.
the story, of course, is that they were Christian's family, and he was the patriarchy and blah, blah. I get that. I understand. But in the O2 Arena on a major pay-per-view that they'll probably put this in the semi-main event of the show, that's what we're going to see?
Yeah. All right. Good point.
Gross. Oh, speaking of which, just real quick, because Terry loves when I say this. Do you think this lights out match goes on before or after Hangman and MJF?
After.
I think Hangman and MJF probably open the show.
For the world title?
Mm-hmm. I don't think
I'm with Terry. My thoughts after. Even if you do a traditional match, they're gonna do the quote lights out gimmick where they end the show, but they didn't really end the show.
it's not enough of a story to me for MJF and Hangman to be closing out the show.
Yeah. I think they rushed Hangman versus MJF. Personally.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I'm glad
As
to
much
see
as
him
you-
get back. I'm glad
Correct.
to see MJF get back in the mix, but you're right. They probably
Yes.
did rush into it.
If
Yeah,
Hangman,
that's why-
if MJF is your best bad guy, and I use the air quotes,
Mhm.
but he's your best heel on television. Why wouldn't you build this to a better? And the answer probably is they're going to do a multi-series of matches.
Yeah.
But my thought process is, why wouldn't you build this to
Very
something
good
more
point.
unique and different? I think it's lazy. I honestly
Okay.
think it's lazy. But I also think he needed to have. Look at this card. I think he needed to have something. This is a foreign market. You better bring it.
Right.
And then you're doing it again the next month in Canada. Anyway, Terry, Canada, September 20th.
That's right. And there'll be a lot going on September 20th. But let's move along to the main event for today.
Woohoo!
Schools in Alabama have been in session for a couple of weeks now, and schools elsewhere, not quite. But we are back to school, and we're going to look back decades of what our favorite school lunch foods were.
Yeah, it saddens me that decades even applies to me in this particular conversation.
Shut up. Look, okay, so for full disclosure, I went to Catholic school for most of my school years, okay? So my answers may be a little bit different.
I went to Catholic school for kindergarten and then went to public school for the rest of the time.
I
You
never
just
went to
reminded
Catholic
me of that.
school.
I haven't thought about that in years.
I never
But
went
I
to
am wearing
kindergarten.
rosary
So.
beads here, so.
All
Okay,
right,
so
let's
I
do
will
this.
also say I'm wearing my Be Kind to Everyone shirt because when we go back to school, this is the time to realize there are a lot of different people at your school. They may be different from you. I know you're growing up and you're learning a lot of things, but let's try to get along. We're all here to learn something.
I
Devin's
just learned
10-year
that.
reunion was last night. Now I'm old because
Yeah.
I graduated from high school in 2004.
Okay, you could just stop now. All right. I graduated from high school in 1993.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Were
Well,
you
let's talk about
born?
the
I mean,
foods
like-
we ate. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see
look
what
who's
Bill
here.
did.
Oh, no.
The almost
Who's here?
birthday boy.
Yeah, somebody told me it's Bober's birthday. Speaking of senior citizens, did AARP reach out to you yet, sir? I'm just asking.
He's been
Get
on
that-
that mailing list for a couple of years.
Yeah, get that senior discount. Speaking of,
Oh,
I don't remember what we
how-
had for school lunch.
How did French fries miss the list? Anytime
And
French
mashed
fries
potatoes
were
and gravy?
available,
Mashed potatoes,
we did
French
not have
fries,
that.
mac and cheese, and green beans. I was really surprised that green beans made it up this high.
I voted green beans in the top
Really?
10. That's how.
Wow.
But well, okay. Let's go. French fries are garbage in school. They're like trash. They're not even good.
It really
Mac
depends
and
on what school
cheese-
you go to. That's part of this, though. I'm not a crinkle cut fan. I hate crinkle cut fries completely. She's not impressed by that statement.
They're French fries.
Crinkle cut fries, hot salt. They're salt. They got to be hot. Put cold ketchup on them. That's how we do
Uh-oh.
things.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Amy's
We got
response.
everybody.
What?
Bober's here with tater tots. Oh my God. Amy said what? Okay. Well, I say French fries are garbage, but here's the thing: on the mac and cheese, like, did your guys' mac and cheese have the texture of Elmer's glue? Like legit?
So we didn't have mac and cheese.
I don't remember really having mac and cheese much, but I definitely was not impressed by it in school, and I didn't vote
Okay.
for it.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Yeah, he's right. Dave's right. The fries were baked. They were not fried, if I remember that correctly. And if it's a French fry, guess what you should be doing to that thing?
Fry.
Fry it. But mashed potatoes. Do you all remember Lunch Lady? Thank you, Chris Farley. Lunch Lady Land had an ice cream scoop, and that's what she scooped the mashed
That's exactly what they
potatoes
used.
out
Yeah. I don't believe we had gravy with our mashed potatoes in school, though, because I remember, me as a kid, we would have chicken nuggets, mashed potatoes, and rolls, and I would dip the chicken nuggets in the mashed potatoes and eat it. That was my.
We had the same lunch with gravy, but remember, I'm slightly younger than you.
Right.
And the green beans, Devin, it's me and Devin put the green beans on the list because the green beans we were served in Gering, Nebraska, where I grew up and went to school, they did the gimmick where you had It was not butter, I'm sure. It was water. But they also had the bacon. You know, you had the red little bacon bits in them, and no salt and pepper for you kids. We don't do seasoning around here. Just eat it that way. Also, a thought process. What did Dave say? We had a dish that was a tostada topped with a scoop of rice and chili. Oh, I bet you that was good. That reminds me of Taco
There's
Town.
legendary things like that other people in the country have
Yeah.
never heard of that are never going to make this top 10, but that's the good stuff right there.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fake green beans. But remember when we were in school, maybe you guys do, I don't know. We didn't have the damn allergies people have today. The gluten, the peanut butter, all of the allergies where they send the letters home from the kids. Hey, don't bring peanut butter to school because so and so are allergic. They
Right.
probably don't say that. They say
Something
they've got
has
allergic
changed.
kids.
I mean,
But yeah.
They
especially
don't tell
peanut
you
butter.
who's allergic. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't have that either. But anyway, green beans with the pretend bacon, they hit. Devin's right. They hit.
Well, I mean, I love green beans now. I grew up eating green beans at home, but
and
when
you
I
know,
was in 5th grade, I wasn't looking forward to it.
you know,
Yeah.
they came out of, you know, when they made the damn green beans for the entire school, they came out of a 5-gallon bucket. You know,
Giant
I
cans
just
or
realized this. I should have invited my mom on the show. She was the manager of the elementary lunchroom when I was growing up. Yeah, I don't know if that would have worked out in my favor. But
it'd be the only show without language ever because I
Yeah.
would not insult Terry's mom. Ms. Nancy does not approve of language, adult or
Hey,
otherwise.
she should meet Lex.
Oh, they would get along great. I'm sure they would. Oh,
They
my
would get
dad
along
loved
wonderful.
Lex. I will tell you that. Let's hit number 10. Grilled cheese.
Oh, fuck yes.
I love grilled cheese. I don't know that I ate it a lot at school,
Yeah.
but I ate a lot of grilled cheese when I was a kid.
That's ridiculous, Pondwater. 32 ice cream sandwiches in 30 minutes.
Oh my
I
God.
did something similar. I remember we had records like when I was in elementary school. I ate everybody's roll one day, and I'm like, if everybody's giving me their roll, damn it, I'm eating it. I love rolls, you know.
I mean,
Have you met me?
Terry, if we weren't best friends already, that would have just sold you. to me.
Yeah, and then like this one kid got in trouble for getting 2 pizzas one time, you know. Great lunch stories.
Amy says grilled cheese with chili. Here's my
Yeah.
thought. They did tomato soup in Western Nebraska. I hate tomato soup. 100%
With
a
either one.
garbage food. Garbage.
I
food.
love it.
I love it.
Gross.
Oh, like a tomato bisque,
Mhm.
like the lobster bisque. at
Lobster
Connors,
bisque
it
I'm
brings
fine
me
with.
back.
Do not give me a can of condensed soup that says Campbell's and put it and
No.
tell me that's tomato soup. Get
No,
the
no.
out of here.
The real tomato, creamy tomato soup, with a perfectly grilled cheese, and you
That
dip
is a
it in.
good
Oh,
wintertime lunch.
Half a dozen foods on this planet I will not eat, and a lot of it's because of my childhood. Tomato soup is one of them. Beets is the other.
Oh,
no
beets
beets.
did not make the top.
My mother loves beets. No.
Okay.
Let me wait. Real quick side thing. My brother was maybe 1 or 2. He was in the high chair. We weren't paying attention to him one night at dinner. He had taken his beets, mashed them up, and spread them all over his face. So it looked like he was bleeding,
Oh,
from his
man.
entire face. So we just started screaming, and then then he like scoops them off and ate it, and we're like, oh, okay.
Mm.
So beets, yeah.
Mm-mm.
No.
Poor Constantine. Didn't know he was getting embarrassed on this show.
I've been
We
there
do-
in Vegas, I think.
We've got one next to the Trash Panda Stadium.
I am not
Right.
sure, but that
Oh,
sounds
the
like
yard.
it's
Wait a
right
minute.
up my alley.
Grilled cheese. The
Yeah.
yard I'm thinking about is a milkshake place. Is there
Oh.
is this the same, or are we talking about a different thing called the
I
yard?
don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know.
My
I'm
father
down.
likes my father said this was his school one. Grilled cheese with 1 slice of American cheese.
With only one, George,
Yeah.
please. The way you make a grilled cheese is you got to put the bacon and the pickles on it,
Texas toast
and
and
you-
barely a little bit of
Texas
cheese.
toast, multiple. This is called adult money. Back when I was growing up, we didn't have that, but it's adult money. We're putting thick cut bacon, dill pickles, multiple colors or flavors of cheese.
Mm.
That is a grilled cheese sandwich now.
See, to me, that's sex talk right there. That's the shit that hits. That's
Rick
fantastic.
Costanza. Do you remember that episode where George Costanza had a sandwich in the nightstand, and he's like fooling around with his girlfriend, and he reaches over and takes a bite of the sandwich? God, that's
Yes.
it's
And yes,
funny.
Devin,
I
Paris
can
beats
come up
South
with an
Park.
episode of The Office or Seinfeld or Bob's Burgers for just about anything that we say.
Absolutely. All right,
Number
what's
9,
next?
spaghetti. In my
Ah.
school, spaghetti didn't look nothing like that.
We didn't even have this.
It was all packed together. It was more like the macaroni we're talking about, where it's all smushed together and you can't really.
Ugh.
Yeah, no. The spaghetti, the spaghetti was Chef Boyardee at best.
No. That's
It was
horrible.
trash. It was trash.
It probably was canned. That actually makes sense.
Oh, but man, but it came with those rolls, and I would just listen.
All right, I get it just
There
for
is
the
not
rolls.
a school food that I didn't like. I will just go ahead
Okay.
and throw that out.
We
I
are
love every
learning
bit of
something
it.
about Terry. Andrew, thank God Terry has this in his life. If
Well,
this
his
is-
mom ran the kitchen. What would she
Hey.
say if he didn't eat his lunch?
Hey, I
Good
would.
point.
We would order some of that stuff for home. I mean,
Oh,
that's what we did.
Terry's going to
Uh-huh.
get to it, but there is a food he got for the weekend or the summer.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that when we
Yes.
get there.
Yeah.
Number 8, rolls. I
Yeah.
should have said the roll story, but yeah,
Yeah.
those school rolls are fabulous. My mom
Look.
still makes them for like Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Like I'm down with this. Like this list is awesome so far. You know, it's bringing me back. The spaghetti was trash, but the rolls. Terry is right. And look, you know, back in the Midwest, before we were also conscious of gluten diet, diabetes, carbohydrates, blah blah blah. Like they love to serve you lunch, potatoes, gravy, rolls, and some sort of meat, like
Yep.
a protein, and then a vegetable, usually in addition to the potatoes, corn, green beans. Probably didn't make the list, but the mixed medley. Remember the medley with the carrots and the green beans?
Hey, if
and the
corn didn't make this list, that ain't my fault. Y'all know that.
I voted corn, so
He puts it on pizza for God's sake. But no, you're right though. The rolls, and these rolls, no matter what you dunked them in,
yes.
Oh, it's great.
whatever the school lunch came with the roll, you always had something to mop up and dunk in. It tasted delicious on the roll.
Yes. Oh man.
Awesome.
Hot
I
turkey
know,
sandwiches and their fake gravy did not work for me, Bober.
See, you guys had way more fancy ass lunches than I did. That's
Well, you're
all I'm
old,
gonna
for one
say.
thing. Standards have changed in the decades. Number
True.
2, well, Bober's saying it too, and he's older than you are.
He's older
Right.
than me. Yeah.
Well, public schools probably.
Number
That'd be
7,
the difference.
corn dog.
Corn
Hell,
dogs.
hell yes. Absolutely.
I am 40 December the 2nd, and I will still fuck up a corn dog. I am not
Oh,
lying to y'all.
So I got people that tell me that when I was a little kid, like really small, before I started playing baseball, my brother was playing baseball, and I was running around the ballpark with half a corn dog shoved in my pocket.
Mhm. Yeah. I will fuck with a corn dog. And look, I used to be the guy that would put the circle of ketchup, dunk, bite,
Oh, yeah.
dunk, bite. Yeah. And I could eat 4 or 5 corn dogs like right now. Like if we had corn dogs in this house, when we're done, I will be fucking up some corn dogs. I am not even lying to y'all.
This is going to be true for other foods on this list, but I'll go ahead and admit, at times I would eat all the outside and then just have the hot dog in the middle and eat that off the stick because it still
Mhm.
had some of that gooey stuff from the corn dog.
You
on
ate
there.
it raw.
I was the
ate
guy
it.
that I wanted a bite of it all in every bite.
Yeah.
I wanted a
Yeah.
bite of every bit of it. So when you bit into it and you accidentally pulled too much of the corn dog off the dog itself, not good. That is not a good situation.
We are on the same page here. Absolutely.
And look, corn dogs
Girl
probably was
number-
in my top 3 if I'm honest. Like I am genuinely serious. You all know I'm a snob about food. I will fuck up some corn dogs like right now. Let's do it.
Number
I like
6.
the ones at the state fair now, though. Those are the
Oh
ones.
yeah.
Those are the ones you gotta fuck with. Oh, look, tater tots.
I
Number
mean-
6, tater tots.
These were great because we didn't get them very often,
Yeah.
but when we did, they'd put them out and you would look to make sure you got the crispiest ones. Oh yeah. Mhm.
These were my favorite potato at school. By far.
Okay.
Yeah. So these, they, you guys remember the shot glasses or not? They weren't even shot glasses, but they were the paper cups.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you get at McDonald's to put the ketchup in.
Yep.
These were the kids that would get 4 or 5 of them damn things, and they would dunk a tater tot in there and it'd be coated in ketchup, and then they would eat it. I'm like, what are you doing? There's not even any. There's no tater tot left to taste. All you're eating is Heinz. You know. But yeah, we had tater tots regular. I bet you, now that I think about it, we had tater tots more than French fries. I genuinely believe that.
I think we
Why I
did
like
too.
Sonic so much. I'll get me
Yeah.
some tater tots at Sonic
And corn dogs.
and corn
corn
dogs.
dogs.
Oh man,
Mhm.
Oh,
I'm
and
gonna go
don't
drive to Sonic
forget
after we get done here.
jalapeno peppers with
Oh.
cheddar.
Oh.
Oh God, yeah. Let's do
Wow.
a Sonic list and rate their
Oh,
not
Oh
meals.
yeah.
Others-
Frito stuff. Oh man. Oh god. Anyway, number 5, burgers,
Burgers.
cheeseburger, hamburger, those soy whatever burgers.
They did
They
not
were
have
good.
meat in them. If you were Catholic and it was Friday, you were fine eating them. I promise, folks. That was not.
I loved it though. I mean,
It was the
delicious.
ultimate burger before ultimate burgers became a thing.
I loved it.
And Dave is right. Again, baked but browning really made them hit. I think I don't know if that was about the burgers or the tater tots, but yeah,
I think that's
Yeah.
probably tater tots. Yeah.
probably. We
Burgers
didn't
are-
have burgers very often, but I really like these because when we did have them, it had the kind of I call it like the McDonald's buns, the kind that would squish,
Yeah.
so it wasn't too much bread.
Right. Yeah.
So in high
Yeah.
school, we
So
started-
you're somebody who pays attention to the meat to bun ratio. Is that what you just
Oh,
admitted?
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
yeah. So in high school, we got to the point we could choose which line based on what food.
Mhm.
In the middle line, which was supposed to be salad bar, but it was always like burgers and salad and stuff. Burgers were there like every day. And if I
Yeah.
didn't want something that
Wow.
was in one of the other lines, I would go for the burgers.
Fancy schmancy. Oh, dill tots. Oh, I'm gonna try that.
Ew, tots. That sounds
Pickle
good.
flavors.
I like
Mm.
pickles and I like tater tots. So this all of a sudden sounds very interesting.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I like salad, but I don't want salad on my burger. I'll go ahead and
That's-
throw
no.
that out there. Get that lettuce off of there. It is doing nothing for me.
Lettuce is a filler. If I teach you anything, it is that lettuce is a filler, has no nutritional value. Get it off my food.
Okay, so okay. I didn't even think about this until now. So yesterday, after Cyrus's soccer game, we met up with some other parents and kid, and we went to Big Daddy's Burger Bar, which is one of these fancy big burger places. And I got the Birria burger, or however you say
Birria?
that word. Birria.
Birria.
Yeah.
Birria burger, whatever. And it had a tortilla shell, a hard tortilla shell on the burger.
Oh.
But it ended up being just like the lettuce. It brought nothing to the table other than crunch. There was no flavor that came from it. The burger was great, but they could have just thrown that. I should have taken it off and threw it across the restaurant.
Interesting.
But it was a very good burger. It had some sauce to dip it in and everything. It was a big mess. 2 other people on my table had wings, but my burger was far messier than their wings.
I'm like a 6 napkin guy. Y'all know.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'm
I
gonna
may
get
have
messy.
spilled some sauce on the table. But who's
Yeah.
who's
Did we
responsible?
dine with white or black linen?
I don't think there was linen. I think it was just a wooden table.
Yeah, you got to pull your little tiny napkins out of the little tiny napkin holder.
Oh no,
All of a
this was the
sudden-
roll. They had the
All
roll.
of a sudden, I'm Jack Dawson on the Titanic, and Allison is the unsinkable Mally Brown. Just start on the left and work your way in. You know what the fuck did he say to me? Black or white linen? What?
That was one of my favorite things to ever explain to you. I loved it. Oh,
I just paid that bill. Ugh.
oh God.
Yeah,
Number
Ooh.
4,
the travel bill on the credit card.
Good God.
Yeah.
Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joe.
Joes. Yes.
Everybody who watched 90s SNL gets that reference.
Yes. And this hit every time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Sloppy
Every
Joes were never bad. And look, you got the bun right on this, Terry. At least in my
Mhm.
school, we didn't have plain hamburger buns for Sloppy Joes. We got the sesame seed action,
Yep.
buddy. Straight up Sesame Street.
Thank you, ChatGPT. I don't know why the background had to be the same color as the bun, but other than that, you did
This-
pretty well.
This is a correct sloppy Joe too. If you notice, it is just looks like meat.
Yeah.
Just
Where's
meat
the
and the
pickle?
sauce, and
Where's
that's
the
it.
dill pickle? Where's the dill
Pickle is fine. Don't put any fucking vegetables in my sloppy Joe mix. Oh
No,
yeah.
I want dill pickles on my Sloppy Joe, but that's it.
I may put some mayonnaise in there. It mixes well with mayonnaise.
Sure.
Notice he didn't say Miracle Whip. That's salad
Oh,
dressing in his salad.
that's
We don't do
gross,
that
yeah.
here.
I'll never say Miracle Whip. That is
That's gross.
disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, Devin, no coleslaw. That's gross.
No,
You
that's
don't
for
put
barbecue
coleslaw.
pork. That's completely different, sir.
Yeah, and that's debatable whether depending on where you live too. Some
It's a
people
side.
no coleslaw. yeah.
Vinegar-based pork requires the coleslaw.
I agree.
Number 3, Tim.
Number 3, chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggies, baby. And they'd only give you 1 cup of barbecue sauce. Those
That's
stingy
it.
bastards. Stingy.
Mhm.
And look,
We ran into
how many,
that
how many
today.
nuggets did y'all get? 4 or 5, usually.
I don't know.
I probably want to say 5. Back in the day, they had lots of money, so
Bober.
indeed.
Bober wants to know if I'm Canadian and tell me to get my mayo out of here. I eat mayo before I eat ketchup and mustard. I'll tell you that
Oh,
much.
seriously, just stop talking. No,
Yeah.
that's wrong.
Anyway.
Mayo on a burger is a thing, man.
Oh, it's delicious.
So is lettuce.
That's
But,
all right.
I mean, what do I know?
I dip my fries in ranch, so there you go.
Oh my God! Stop it! Straight to jail in this county.
I do
straight
it.
to jail.
Oh, no, chicken
So
nuggets
today-
were good. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, to me, I didn't dip it in any sauce, and I think I explained this earlier. This is where
Yeah.
my mashed potatoes came in. I put my chicken nuggets
Oh,
in my mashed potatoes.
nice.
There was no dipping sauces either. You had barbecue, and that was it. You know why we call
Right.
that?
Right.
Being grown-ups.
Yep. No, but Terry's onto something. I don't remember if it was school where I did this, or maybe it was a camp where I would take the mashed potatoes, the chicken nuggets, the corn, the green beans, and make myself a little like bowl.
And people
No,
do. I've
for
seen
number
people
2.
online do that at Popeyes. They'll get like the blackened chicken nugget, chicken fingers, instead of the breaded and fried, and they'll dip it in mashed potatoes. And there's not a lot of calories in
Fantastic.
that, and it's delicious.
Ah, that sounds so
But you
good.
got to wait forever to Popeyes to give you your food. That's a shot at them. But anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
Number
Thing that
2,
Yep.
chocolate milk. Now, I
Yeah.
preferred vanilla milk when we were fortunate enough to get vanilla milk or strawberry milk, but chocolate is the classic.
Yeah, Stoner's
Absolutely.
Food is a KFC famous bowl, Devin, you're welcome. That's the corn, the mashed
Yes.
potatoes and gravy, the chicken. Some pothead came up with that concoction
See,
at KFC.
corn.
Yeah, corn.
What I'm
Just
saying.
saying.
I get that.
There's just saying corn. Creamy
If
potato.
I have to go to KFC, that's what I'm getting.
Get in the bowl. Yep,
Mhm.
after a bowl. But anyway, chocolate milk. Let's be honest. It's
Yeah.
because you thought you were getting away with some shit. That's why chocolate
Absolutely.
milk was number 1. You don't think your parents knew you were drinking chocolate milk in school? Come on now, people.
Let me tell you something.
You
We
know the
have
only
chocolate
place I
milk in my
drank chocolate milk
refrigerator
I
at
was gonna
all
say,
times.
I kind of figured one of us was gonna have chocolate milk in the fridge.
Cyrus,
Now-
that's Cyrus's favorite drink.
Yeah. Do you know, growing up, little chocolate cartons were dearly missed in my. That's right, Alex. Um, we never had chocolate milk in my house ever growing up.
Well,
So where we got chocolate milk was school, and
oh, okay.
then we got older. We got Dad liked Hershey syrup in his milk.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that'll do it.
Okay.
But I
So-
like Nesquik. But
I
he
was just
loved
gonna say, so
Hershey
that
syrup.
that's the
Yeah.
first argument. Are you
Yeah.
a syrup or a Nestle Quick person? Because I am
Definitely,
wholeheartedly,
I am definitely
Syrup.
Nestle Quick. Yeah.
hands down.
To me, you put enough in there where you're not going to be able to mix it all in, and you stir it real fast where it's just
You get
floating
the
in there.
clump.
Because if you let
Oh.
that settle, it's getting all in the bottom.
And I'll be honest with y'all. About once every couple weeks, I just go grab a pet chocolate milk from the store in
Yeah.
the little single serving,
Mm.
and I love it. I love it. But
I'll
I
be
don't drink
honest.
milk
I
anymore
do
as an
that with
adult.
apple juice a lot lately. I'll
My
grab-
brother and my son love strawberry milk, so they do like
Oh,
every so
yeah.
often they'll get the single serve. But Lex and I found somewhere when we're out and about, he gets like cookies and cream milk. He gets like all these different flavors, and I'm like, well, that's disgusting. But you're drinking milk, so I really don't care. Because
And I don't drink milk anymore as an adult.
exactly,
Other than protein shakes, if they've got like the
right.
almond milk, or
Yep.
if when I'm drinking the chocolate milk as a treat, I don't drink milk anymore at all. We used to in my house, and this is probably why we didn't have chocolate milk. I'll be honest about it. There were 4 kids growing up. We did not drink soda. It was water or milk, and that's all we ever had really to speak of.
Mhm.
We probably went through 6 to 8 gallons of milk a week, and that's cooking,
Well, you were
drinking.
4 kids too.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
So like we didn't have beverages. You know what I'm saying? Is
No,
milk
yeah, we
healthy?
didn't either.
It depends
Depends
on
on
who
the
you
milk.
ask and when you ask them, Devin.
Yeah,
They've been
correct.
debating
Well-
that for years.
Well, we only drank 2%. Then my dad got on this 1% kick for a
Oh,
while,
that's
and
water.
he
My
never
mother
got to
drinks
skim
skim,
milk.
so
He never got to
yeah.
skim. I drink skim because I don't really care.
I
But
can't do that. No
yeah,
way.
but Dad, or no, it was Mom. She got on the 1% kick because remember the 1% was green, and the 2% was blue. The
blue.
vitamin D or whole was red, and the
Red.
skim milk was like the purple tab on it or whatever.
Mhm.
My mom got on this kick where we had 1% for the longest time.
White
water.
water.
Exactly. Yeah.
And before we head to number 1, and it shouldn't be a
Yes.
surprise,
Mm-mm.
I'm flabbergasted that green beans defeated the little cup of ice cream with a wooden spoon. How did that happen?
That
So-
made my list.
So I probably tanked the ice cream. I liked the Jello with
We
the
got quite a
fruit in
few
it.
votes this week. You didn't have the
What?
ability to do that.
You had Jello with
I-
fruit in it.
I voted for 20 items this week.
Oh, good lord.
20.
So wait, explain this Jello with the fruit in it to me.
Oh, so like they put fruit inside the actual Jello.
Yes.
And that was like my favorite dessert at school.
good
was
stuff.
You get the fruit and the Jello, like, and then my grandma, and it's probably why I liked it. She used to do that shit at home. Like she
Oh,
would
yeah.
make fruit salad, but
Yep.
then she'd put Jello over top of it. And I'm
My
telling
grandma
you,
did that.
you put some bananas or you put some oranges or and some Jello, and it is awesome. And she used light Jello and thought we all didn't know. Come on, Grandma, please.
Hey,
But I
that
guess
light
she was-
Jello is pretty good though. I'll get
No,
that.
but she was still looking
Yeah.
out for us because the sugar from the
Yeah.
fruit was enough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was actually why I like them. But also at home, back home growing up, they gave us like those ice creams for like field day or for like testing days and stuff.
Mhm.
You didn't just get ice cream all willy-nilly back in the 90s. So how can it be number 1, Terry, when it won't regular? It was a special occasion.
So did you guys have breakfasts?
In high school, yes, but not elementary school.
Okay,
I don't
so
think
same for
we
me.
ever did, honestly.
Well,
Yeah, we
actually, my parents were too proud to do it, but we probably would have qualified because we really were poor growing up. Free and reduced lunches.
Mhm.
But they also would serve breakfast to people in the morning that were on
Mhm.
that program. My parents never did that. We always had cereal. And we had the most cheap rip-off of whatever the name brand was cereal possible in the biggest bag
Yeah.
imaginable.
It's like dog food, but it's cereal. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Fruit Loops or Cocoa Puffs? It's whatever.
It's
but-
Fruity Spinners. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And Alex says he can still taste the wooden spoon from the ice cream. Yes,
Yes.
he can.
All right.
That
So that
is-
we don't delay, let's talk about number one
Yes.
because we know what it is.
We know what it
Pizza.
Pizza.
Thank you for
There
getting the
was a
right shape.
time. Well, it was a struggle because I kept debating ChatGPT on this. I was like, come on. You got to get this right.
Also, you guys had toppings. Did you guys have toppings on your pizza? Because we didn't. It was
depends on
cheese
the size.
pizza or cheese pizza.
I don't think on this one we did. I think it was cheese on this one. When we had the octagon, I guess it is, or was it 6 sides? I don't know. I don't want to do math. I don't want to do
Hexagon.
here. The
Hexagon.
hexagon. We had sausage or something on that, and then at one point we got these weird, big, huge pepperoni slices, but that didn't last long.
No.
But I think the hexagon. That's my favorite kind.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dave, you are a criminal and a terrorist for doing that. Kids are not bougie, they want real breakfast cereal. But there's probably no difference. They're made in the same factory, I'm sure. Secondly, think Tostino's pizza, Allison.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we had. Like, if you're talking about toppings, we had cheese. I know that for a fact. But I also know we had, quote, sausage or hamburger. But if you've ever had a Tostino's party pizza, that's about what the sausage and hamburger was.
Right.
Okay. Squares of mystery meat, basically.
Yeah, we had pellet-looking sausage on our pizza. That's what I
about right.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I only remember cheese
I don't
pizza.
even remember pepperoni, to be honest with you. I always remember hamburger.
Yeah.
or sausage.
I think the only time we had pepperoni, you know those cube-shaped pepperonis
Yep.
that you get that was on pizza? We had that at one point, but that's
Okay.
the one I said we had a weird triangle-shaped slice like regular pizza at one point, and it was really spicy pepperoni to me as like a fourth grader. And I'm like, what is this all about?
Get the hell out of here, Mom!
Yeah.
You got the meatloaf.
My palate is not ready for this.
My dog just looked at me like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I'm sleeping down here. Poor girl. She got
Carrie, tell
sore
your
up
pizza
from what
story.
She's done. But anyway,
My pizza
yes,
story.
it's
Yeah,
time,
so-
Terry.
So,
time.
I mentioned my mom managed the elementary cafeteria, and back then this was an okay thing to do, but they disallowed it at one point just because they didn't want people taking advantage. We would order things through the same supplier and we would pay for it and bring it home or whatever. And I would get a gross of school pizzas, 144 every summer. And I would cook like 6 of those bad boys at a time. And I was a growing boy, and I would just gobble those things up. It was so good. So good.
Did it taste just as good at home as it did at the cafeteria?
Oh, I got to crisp it up a little bit more at home.
That's right.
It was-
That's right.
Very good at home.
Well, the thing is, and we joke about it, and at least I did, about like the green beans, no salt and pepper, whatever. When you mass produce these things for cafeterias, they're not going to season them. There's
Right.
not going to be a lot of flavor to this stuff
Mm-mm.
because you're cooking. In my case, I think our elementary school had probably 300 kids. So maybe more than that, but I don't know. I don't honestly remember. I mean, 7 grades times 30 times 2. So 400 kids. And you're going to have, pizza as an example. There ain't going to be no seasoning on it. There's no
Right.
flavor to it. It's just whatever it is. It's going to be generic.
It's
But man-
lightly cooked cardboard with some gooey stuff on it.
And pizza day, as you all know, was the shit back in elementary school. We
Mhm.
were rocking on pizza.
Oh, well, that makes sense now that we didn't have pepperoni because pizza day was Friday. Catholic school.
Catholic school. Well, here's the thing. All right. Now, Devin, Michael, I want you all to pay attention because I'm about to teach you something. The Medici family back in the 13th century
Oh, God.
owned the papacy in Italy. And so Catherine Medici was the matriarch of the family. But anyway, they owned the papacy. And so they also owned the fish market in Italy. So not because Jesus said so, or because he fed the multitudes with 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish, or whatever the story goes, because he did it multiple times in the Bible. It was because of a financial and economic arrangement between the papal state and the fish market that Catholics do not eat fish on Friday. It is absolutely bullshit.
I'm
that
right there with you.
Catholics during Lent, and
It's not
actually
just
that
Catholic.
was until like the 1960s. They didn't eat fish on Friday at all until the second, whatever they called it, with the Pope in 1964. I forget the name of it right now. But anyway, for 800 years, all of you Catholics have been eating fish on Fridays during Lent because of a mafioso-like financial agreement between a controlling royal family of the Italian state, the papacy, and the fish market. And you're welcome.
Okay,
You're
so
all
I will respond with this. No matter the reasoning,
Yes.
if in your heart you are sacrificing something for a good reason, then it still counts. Let's move on to the rundown. Top
Woohoo.
10 school lunch foods. Number 10, grilled cheese. Number 9, spaghetti. Number 8, rolls. Number 7, corn dog. Number 6, tater tots. Number 5, burgers. Number 4, sloppy joes. Number 3, chicken nuggets. Number 2, chocolate milk. And of course, number 1 is school pizzas.
So on the fish topic that Dave said they had fish on Friday, I'm just going to finish. Fish sticks in the school cafeteria hit.
Yeah.
I
They were
love
90% breading.
I love fish sticks in the school cafeteria.
They were 90% breading, and you got all your sugar from the ketchup that you dipped them in. It was great.
Ask me if I would eat fish sticks right now.
No.
Of course not. No. God,
I would.
No.
I would go eat school lunch every day.
you're bougie for that.
I
Anyway.
love it. All
Oh,
right,
by the
good luck.
way,
I would order off menu at the elementary school.
because I haven't given you guys a stat tonight. The fucking New York Mets are beating Seattle 7-3. And the only reason we like this is Seattle is ahead of New York in the wild card.
Mhm.
Only reason we like them.
Big Dumper's
Anyway.
not having a good night.
No, he struck out 3 times.
Damn it. Oh well.
All right. Let's
All
talk
right.
talking
Speaking of
wrestling with
not
Conwater
striking
and
out.
Amy.
Yeah, not striking out.
That's
Our
right.
Dave
friend.
is here with us. Amy was with us. She may be gone to bed at this point. I'm not sure.
Speaking of
but-
school lunches, she's the dietitian for the damn Head Start. Why
That's
did
right.
she leave?
so she when I say
Oh,
she,
she's probably at
they
work tomorrow. That's why.
they do not have a confirmed guest yet for this week on Tuesday. So when I ask, they don't always have everything figured out. Tuesday night this time, and we do know they are going to talk about autograph quality in 2025. So that'll be an
Interesting
interesting discussion.
topic. Oh, I like that. That'll be good.
And now that I had a discussion with you before the show, I might as well mention this with Mark Out Moments in the crowd here. Starting next week, and I talked to Dave about this, we are going to start streaming our show on their YouTube as well. So you'll get it on our YouTube, their YouTube, our Twitter. And if enough of you follow us on Facebook, we'll put it back on Facebook.
Correct.
All I'm saying.
Because Mark Zuckerberg sucks.
He just doesn't like us. That's all right.
Yeah, he absolutely does not like us. And I think it's me, but it's okay. I did win the war with Poison Oak this week. And I put it on Facebook that I did so.
Good job.
And I'm befuddled by my neighbor with the $12,000 mower pulling it out. General Lee.
Awesome.
Anyway, do we know, Terry, other than the football, we're going to talk Nebraska next week because they kick off against Cincinnati.
Right.
And then I guess Auburn going to play Baylor. But
Well,
you know.
so next week we will have, we'll get to talk about some games that already occurred. We will look at the top 10 list voted on by the fans. We're going to vote on that before the games occur, but we're going to reveal it after the first set of games because of this whole week 0 nonsense that we talked about. But then we will lead into next week's games, and everybody by September 1st will have started. North Carolina will be like the only team that hadn't played. TCU, North Carolina will not have played at that point when we have a show. So that'll be the only game that hasn't occurred. So next week, we'll talk about some games that did occur. Iowa State, and who are they playing in Dublin?
Oh, Kansas. Is it Kansas State?
Yeah, Iowa State, Kansas State in Dublin. There's 5 or 6 more games. Then we'll do the preview of the big games coming up. Nebraska and Auburn have big games to start the season. And we got Texas, Ohio State. We'll preview those things.
Yeah, contrary to what you all may or may not believe, Texas, Ohio State will be the main event of the football talk.
Yeah.
Even though Terry and I may have over the years given you an indication that only Auburn and Nebraska matter. More Nebraska than Auburn. But still, only Nebraska and Auburn matter. But we don't know what our top 10 is next week, do we?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much Auburn matters depending on how that game in Waco happens.
Nah, well, Baylor has a very good defensive coordinator as its head coach.
Yep.
Came out of Wisconsin, LSU. Very, very good. Dave Aranda's a very good head coach. I personally think we did not predict each other's stuff. I personally think Nebraska's going to have a far better season than Auburn because I think Auburn is a dumpster fire waiting to happen.
Oh,
we shall see.
Oh,
it could happen that way.
This is based on all the garbage I've been reading about what's happening in Auburn. So,
well, I think there's also some overreaction. We'll get into that.
Yes.
Yeah, but we don't have Cam Newton this year, though. So that's
Bober can say what he wants. Pittsburgh ain't ever won one. So
anyway, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for voting and for showing up. We got some regulars, and we really appreciate you. We're going to reach out to some of you to come on the show at different times. We'd love for you to help us out with lists and that kind of thing. 1976, Bober says.
That's the year I was born.
Been a while.
Yeah.
But that was school lunch foods. Top 10 school lunch foods. Thank you. That was fabulous.
That was good.
Yeah, great.
I'm hungry, but yeah.
And next week, we've kind of poked around a few things. I don't know that we settled on anything. We'll figure that out. I like to know what it is at this point, but this week I don't think we do. So
yeah,
that'll have to wait.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Can't be food though, because we've already just done that. And Bober, I will have you know that in 1970 and 71, Nebraska won back-to-back national championships. The Godfather,
knew it was coming.
Bob Badani of Nebraska football, anointed the man who would be the GOAT and win 836, or 83.6% of his games. Tom Osborne, 3 national championships. By the way, 30 years ago, rather, Nebraska started football on a Thursday. They ran the table. 38 points, average margin of victory. No holding calls, Terry. No sacks allowed. After sending 3 offensive linemen to the NFL from the year before. Do you know how impressive it is to not have a holding call and not give up a sack in 13 games?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Terry doesn't believe that there was no holding call.
I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying for a holding call to have to occur, the referees have to call it. That's all I'm saying.
God.
No holding penalty, sir. Don't come at me. No. And with
as always, guys, thank you for coming. Love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, everybody.